So hey guys, this is your favorite absolute era. So in this video, we will see what if Naruto was the secret member of Justice League. But before we start, remember to subscribe and like this video. Now let's start. Naruto stares out over the city of Metropolis. It has been 3 years since he landed in this new world so different from the elemental nations. The 3 years have been the most peaceful in his life. The word boring comes to mind. He used to be a ninja that went on missions that brought him to the brink of death. A warrior who has fought in countless battles, killing his enemies and bathing in their blood. A lifestyle that he thought he never wanted, but now that it is gone, he craves the action. Since the age of 1 he has been a weapon. The 4th Hokage had sealed the most powerful demon inside of him. The destiny of a Jinchuriki is to be a weapon for the village that they served. Unfortunately, a certain ninja had decided to use him for his own purposes instead of the village. Orochimaru, the legendary snake Sannin, betrayed Konoha, taking many of its secrets including a 1-year-old Naruto Uzumaki. None of the villagers missed Naruto. Naruto is a demon no different from the Kyuubi in the eyes of the village. Only a few truly saw him for the child that he had been. At the age of 1 he had no concept of right or wrong. No idea that he is now in the hands of one of the most vile and evil ninja in the world. Orochimaru raised him like a son, giving him everything he ever desired. In the eyes of Naruto, Orochimaru hadn't been evil, but a father. Orochimaru raised Naruto to be the perfect weapon. Naruto mastered the shadow clone technique at the young age of 5. Shadow clones are able to learn and transfer that knowledge to the original user upon disappearing. The only thing a shadow clone couldn't do is grow stronger physically. Using the shadow clone technique, Naruto mastered several advanced chakra control exercises and a dozen low-level jutsu by the time he turned 8. He is a prodigy by no means, but his huge chakra reserves allowed him to making 10 shadow clones at a time. Orochimaru had been very pleased knowing that Naruto's strength would grow to incredible levels. Unfortunately, no matter how hard Orochimaru tried, he could never turn Naruto into a cold-blooded killer. Naruto somehow grew up knowing compassion and kindness. He showed such compassion and kindness to the ninja that served under Orochimaru. The Sound Ninja loved Naruto because he never tortured them like Orochimaru had been known to do. Naruto always obeyed his father's orders without question. However, as he grew older and performed more missions outside the village, he began to spend more and more time away from Orochimaru. The words family and friend soon filled him. He watched as children happily played with their mother, father, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, etc. As he spied upon other ninja from different villages, he watched how the younger ninja looked up to their sensei and how the sensei genuinely seemed to care for their students. It made him feel empty inside, as he never felt any of those things from his own father and comrades. It is then he learned the truth. His true parents died, sealing the demon inside of him. Orochimaru kidnapped him from Konoha to become a weapon. The truth had broken Naruto's heart. All this time he believed Orochimaru to be his father, to have loved him when no else did. In the end, he is nothing more than a tool. He wanted to hate Orochimaru, but couldn't. Orochimaru had taken care of him and given him all that he ever wanted. Yes, it had been all in order to gain the perfect weapon, but Orochimaru could have been much crueler in his ways to make Naruto obedient. Akatsuki is after you. They want the power of the demon inside of you, said Orochimaru. Naruto stood in front of Orochimaru. I understand. I will train harder. He has already defeated 2 members of Akatsuki, Kisame Hoshigaki and Deidara of the Stone. Orochimaru smirked. That won't help. These ninja are on a different level than you. Though you are my strongest apprentice, I am going to make sure that they never get their hands on the demon inside of you. The demon will be sealed away in a secret location that only I will know about it. Akatsuki will never get their hands on the demon. I see. Naruto knew what that meant. A Jinchuriki cannot survive the removal of its demon. Orochimaru is going to kill him in order to hold a trump card over Akatsuki. He fell to a knee, lowering his hand. As you desire. Orochimaru smiled widely. He never really liked being a ninja. It never felt right taking the life of another just because they come from different villages. He loves training and learning new techniques, but as for the pointless killing for money and the sake of the village, he gladly leaves it all behind. Orochimaru didn't hesitate to make the required preparations. Soon enough Naruto lay in a seal that would remove the demon from him and place it in a powerful statue designed to hold the Kyuubi. Naruto didn't know what happened during the sealing. All he knew is that he woke up in an alley in the city of Los Angeles. A strange new world that he knew nothing about. By all means he should be dead, but someone up there must like him because here he is alive and well. Why did you call me out here? Naruto turned around to face the world's most famous man. Break. Superman flew through the air. He has an appointment with a League member. Hubby. The young man is the youngest member of the Justice League at the age of 18. No one knew much about the young man. Batman, the world's greatest detective, didn't have any more information on the young hero except that his real name is Naruto Uzumaki and is a master at ninjutsu, espionage, stealth, and assassination techniques. Over the years of being a hero, Superman has encountered hundreds of different villains with a multitude of different powers. Naruto eclipsed them all with his variety of techniques and abilities. Fire, wind, lightning, water, and earth can all be manipulated by the young hero. He can move in the shadows better than Batman and has a very strategic mind that can analyze complex problems within seconds. Superman is very glad that Naruto is on the good side. Up ahead he spots Naruto standing on the ledge of the building. Naruto stood at a height of 5'7", a lithe muscular build, golden blonde hair that stuck up at all angles, handsome face, and ocean blue eyes. He wears a long-sleeved red shirt with a black snake upon the back that resembled Manda. Bandages are wrapped around his hands, baggy black pants that are wrapped up at the shins, and black ninja sandals. Around his waist is a purple rope tied in a bow on the back, a remembrance to the man who raised him. The most noticeable thing on him is a large sword wrapped up in bandages. A high 8 with a musical note is tied around his forehead in honor to his home. Superman flies over to the building. Naruto turned around to face Superman. Why did you call me out here? I wanted to speak to you about possibly taking on a new assignment. A long-term assignment that involves training a new batch of heroes, said Superman. Training a new batch of heroes? Naruto raised an eyebrow. I am afraid that I don't understand. Does the Justice League now recruit children to take over when the older members pass away? Superman shook his head. That isn't what I meant. As you know, certain members of the League have apprentices or sidekicks. Well, we have decided to make them probationary members of the League. Give them access to the Hall of Justice and begin to show them how the League operates until they are ready to become full-fledged members. Naruto gave a bored look. I don't remember having to go through such activities. It is different. Unlike them, you have proven yourself more than capable of handling yourself. They are not nearly as capable as you or the rest of the League members, replied Superman. Naruto couldn't argue with that. He may have a youthful face, but he has probably seen more than Superman and any other League member. More battle experience as well. The Justice League is an organization filled with superheroes from all around the world. Many of the heroes operated individually and are members of the League merely because of the deeds they have done. Naruto is a member of the League, but has only really gone on a handful of joint missions. It is rare when the whole League gathered to take on a threat. Very few times has such a thing happened. He understood the motives of the League. In this world children are treated as children at least until the age of 18, and even then. Elemental nations, it didn't matter what age the ninja is, one never underestimated an opponent. These sidekicks or apprentices probably have a good deal of experience and are on the level of a genin, but the adults are not viewing them with the proper respect, instead only seeing their ages like the rest of the world. Why are you asking me? Naruto gained a hard look. I am well aware that very few members of the League trust me. I doubt even you trust me that much. So why put me in charge of the future generation of heroes? Because we believe you are best suited for the role. Though no one personally knows you that well, your abilities and actions have spoken for themselves. Superman stared straight into Naruto's eyes. It is a covert team. An incident with Cadmus 2 days ago has proven that the villains are getting smarter. A clone of me has been created right under our noses. Batman is hoping that the young group of heroes will be able to go to places that the League can't and find out who is truly behind the Cadmus operation. A clone of Superman. That is indeed a scary thought. Superman is one of the most powerful beings in the world. Only known weaknesses are kryptonite and magic. Other than that, he is a juggernaut that very few have the power to stop. Naruto stared up at the clouds. He has been bored lately. It isn't like he has anything better to do. Being a hero is his only lifestyle. He lived one day at a time, never really caring about the past or future. A boring lifestyle. Perhaps training a group of kids will be fun. In the past, he enjoyed training with his fellow sound ninja. Okay. Naruto gave a nod. I will become their sensei, but I don't want any interference from their previous mentors. I am their sensei now. Superman smiled. I am glad you accepted. Mount Justice. Next day. Robin arrived at the secret base. It has only been 3 days since the team has been assembled. Already the team is gathering. A smirk appears on his face as he couldn't wait to start going on league missions. This is his chance to prove that he is ready for the big time and not some kid or sidekick. Robin. Miss Martian and Superboy came walking towards Robin. Looks like you are the first one to arrive, smiled Miss Martian. Nice outfit, smirked Robin. Miss Martian smiled. She wore a black bodysuit with a blue cape. It is very similar to the outfit that the Martian Manhunter wears. Good to see you again, Superboy. Superboy gave a slight incline of the head. Robin shook his head at the nonchalant response. The portal opened up and Aqualad came out next with Kid Flash. Aw man, last ones to arrive again, groaned Kid. Kid, Aqualad, smiled Miss Martian. Hello, smiled Aqualad. Kid appeared next to Miss Martian with a charming smile. Hey, did you miss me? I sure missed you. Just as beautiful as I remember. Miss Martian smiles. Thanks. Robin and Aqualad shook their heads. Red Tornado enters the room. I see you have all arrived. Please head to the lower levels where the training room simulation is located. The team leader of your newly formed squad is waiting for you all. Team leader, said Kid and Robin, sharing a look. I am afraid we don't understand, said Aqualad. The Justice League has decided that you all need an experienced league member to act as team leader. Though I will be staying here, Black Canary and I have been removed from our previous roles as supervisor and trainer. The newly appointed leader will be your supervisor and train you for your missions, Red Tornado explained. Please head on down. Superboy scowled. Great, we get a babysitter. It isn't really that much different from what Red Tornado has been doing the past few days, said Miss Martian. Robin frowns. Here I thought we would be working independently from the league. I thought that one of us would be chosen to lead our team. He didn't say that he wants to be the leader of the team. Kid grumbles. This sucks, I so wanted to learn from Black Canary. I hope this new team leader is another hot female hero. Break. The doors to the training room open up. The 5 young heroes are filled with surprise as they walk into a large forest. It is filled with tall trees and lush grass. I didn't know that a forest is located under the base, said Kid. It's a simulation. A holographic inducer, said Robin. Superboy looks ahead. There. The others follow his line of sight. In the distance, a single person is sitting upon a large boulder reading a book. He wears a black face mask that covered the lower half of his face, making him appear older than he truly is. Miss Martian becomes curious. He doesn't look much older than us. He sure is short, said Kid unimpressed. Robin snaps his fingers. I know him. Hubby. Hubby. The others look at him in confusion. It is the Japanese word for snake. Robin has a look of respect. He is currently the youngest member of the Justice League, having joined at the age of 17 and is now 18 or 19. I can't remember. 17. Kid whistled. He doesn't look all that strong. Plus that sword is ridiculously oversized. I bet he wouldn't be able to hit me with it. Hubby looks up from his book. Come take a seat on the ground. I'd like to begin. The young heroes step forward, taking a seat in front of Hubby. Hubby leaps down, taking a seat in front of them. First thing first, introductions. I know little about you and you know little about me. If we are going to work together, then we have to know a bit more about each other. I want name, likes, dislikes, and powers. Don't want to give me your real name, then give me your code name. I'll start. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like things, and I dislike other things. I specialize in fighting, said Hubby. Kid points his finger. All we really learned is your name. Hubby points at Miss Martian. You're up. Okay. My name is Megan Maors, but you can call me Megan. It's an Earth name and I am on Earth now, smiled Megan. Hubby stares at her emotionlessly. She shifts nervously. I like to bake and I dislike when others discriminate against others. I have the power to shape-shift, telekinesis, and telepathy. Aqualad went next. I am Calderon, but feel free to call me Calder, that is what my friends call me. I like to fight for justice and help those who are unable to help themselves, and I dislike those who cause harm to others. My main power is to use my water bearers to manipulate water into various weapons that I battle with. The name is Robin. I like to train in acrobatics. I dislike being treated as a kid and I have been trained in several forms of martial arts along with being an expert hacker, smirked Robin. Superboy. I like to fight and I dislike wasting my time. I have the same powers as Superman, glared Superboy. Kid smiled. Name is Wally West, also known as Kid Flash. I like pretty girls and I dislike going slow. My power is being faster than everyone else. Hubby rose to his feet. He gestured for them to do the same. The young heroes stand up looking straight at Hubby. Feel free to call me Naruto-sensei during training sessions or when not out on a mission. Otherwise you'll address me as sensei or Hubby-sensei, said Naruto. Naruto scratches the bottom of his mask. The first thing I need to do is see your strength and weaknesses. Superboy scowled. I am a living weapon. I have no weaknesses. Naruto continued as if Superboy never spoke. So to do that I have a simple test for you. He reaches into his pouch pulling out an alarm clock. It is now 10 in the morning, he set it for an hour after noon. He places the alarm clock on top of the boulder. The test is for you to land a single solid blow on me before the timer goes off. Kid smirked. This will be too easy. Watch this. The arrogant teen moves forward at high speeds. Kid Flash only is able to get within a foot of Naruto before a heavy object strikes his back, slamming him first to the ground. Aqualad, Robin, Miss Martian, and Superboy stare in awe as Naruto pins Kid Flash to the ground with his large sword. Such speed and strength, gasped Aqualad. Miss Martian gulped. I didn't even see him move. He's good. Real good, said Robin. Calm down. I never said begin, said Naruto. He lifts up Samahata before the sword takes a bite of Kid. Samahata whines lightly as Naruto places it back on his back. Kid Flash rolls away, standing up next to the others. Ready, begin. In a cloud of smoke Naruto vanishes. Running away. He isn't so tough. Superboy ran off into the woods. Wait, we shouldn't. Aqualad sighs as Superboy disappears into the trees. He turns to look at Robin. Laughter fills the air as Robin vanishes. Kid put on his goggles. No way am I going to lose. In a blur, Kid leaves as well. Aqualad and Miss Martian share a look before going their own ways as well. Break. Naruto stood patiently in a clearing reading his book. The young heroes have done exactly as he expected, each running off on their own, all of them thinking that it will be easy to pass this test. Apparently, his demonstration with Kid wasn't effective in showing that he outclasses them all. Orochimaru taught him to never underestimate an opponent. A ninja that underestimates an opponent is most likely the one that will die. Superboy comes running out of the trees right at Naruto. No more running. Running. Naruto lowers his book. Whatever makes you feel better. This is the clone of Superman. Superboy runs right towards Naruto. Inwardly, Naruto sighs as he watches Superboy move in slow motion. For claiming to have the powers of Superman, where is the super speed? Naruto steps to the side to avoid a punch. Superboy narrows his eyes, throwing a second and third punch. The next two punches strike air as well. Naruto continues to stand in front of Superboy with a bored look. Ah! Superboy throws a right hook. Naruto grabs the arm and spins around before tossing Superboy across the clearing into a tree. He fights like Superman. Brute force with no style. Naruto respects Superman's ideals and how the hero always places others before his own life. However, he didn't respect how Superman never considers learning a martial arts or fighting style. Superman merely goes around using his speed and power to overwhelm his opponents. A predictable style that is easy to counter. That didn't hurt at all. It'll take more than that to take me down, glared Superboy. Naruto points at Superboy's chest. Superboy looks down to see a strip of paper over the S symbol on his chest. The paper has a seal upon it. Activate. Naruto forms a hand seal. Lightning courses through Superboy's body, electrocuting him. Superboy screams in pain before collapsing to the ground unconscious. Naruto takes a step to the side and raises his arm. A red blur runs into his arm, taking a hard close line. Kid Flash performs a full back flip before hitting the ground, knocked out cold. Too predictable, thought Naruto. Kid Flash fights like the Flash, but like Superboy, he doesn't nearly have the same capabilities as the Flash. Flash can move at speeds that Naruto isn't able to follow with his eyes. Naruto can easily see Kid Flash's movements. I see now why Superman and the League don't want to make them full-fledged members. Arrogance like this will get them killed in the field. Let's see how the others fare. Naruto vanished into the wind. Break. Robin lands on a branch. Found him. He looks down to see Naruto walking through the trees. A smirk appears on his face as his hands go to his utility belt. It is time to pass this test and show them all that he is ready for the big time. In a blur, Robin throws several bird-a-rangs. The weapons fly at Naruto's unprotected back. Naruto spins around, tossing a half-dozen shuriken. The shuriken slice through the bird-a-rangs and continue to fly towards a surprised Robin. Robin jumps down from the branch, landing on the ground. Naruto appears in front of him with the same bored look. Got you. Robin runs right at Naruto. Naruto raises his hands, blocking a flurry of punches. Robin grits his teeth as he goes for a leg sweep, but Naruto flips over him, landing behind him. The sidekick of Batman comes around with a punch that hit air. What? A blow to the side of the head sends Robin into the ground. Do you still think you have me? Said Naruto. Yep. Robin tosses a bird-a-rang. The bird-a-rang flies past Naruto, slicing through invisible wire. Naruto's eyes narrow as a net comes out of the trees towards him. He draws a kunai and uses it to slice through the net. A second trap activates, making bird-a-rangs rain down from above. Naruto moves backwards where Robin maneuvers behind him. This test is mine. A kick comes at Naruto, who twists around, blocking the kick. Robin's eyes fill with surprise before pain fills them. Naruto delivers a punch to the gut that sends Robin to his knees. Naruto calmly looks down at Robin. Definitely more prepared than the others, but still much too arrogant. Robin falls forward, the darkness swallowing him up. Break. Miss Martian is flying through the air, trying to find the others. She really hopes that they are all okay. A smile appears on her face as she spots Superboy standing in a clearing, looking around. Superboy, smiled Miss Martian. Hey, grunted Superboy. I am glad you are okay. Do you know where the others are? Asks Miss Martian, worried. Superboy nods. He points ahead. Miss Martian looks in that direction to see an unconscious Robin, Kid Flash, and Superboy all tied up with ninja wire. Her eyes fill with horror as she turns her head to look at Superboy. Instead, it is Naruto who is standing next to her with a bored look. How? You can shape-shift like us Martians? Gasps Miss Martian. Naruto tosses a kunai into the ground next to Miss Martian. The ground beneath her explodes, causing a net to rise up, catching her. Miss Martian screams in pain as the net is electrified. In a few seconds she falls to the ground unconscious. I can do many things, answers Naruto. 4 down, 1 left to go. Break. I have a bad feeling. Aqualad draws his weapons. He doesn't want to face Naruto-sensei on his own, but he doesn't have much choice since the others ran off on their own. Aqualad walks towards a river where a familiar face waits for him. Naruto stands in front of the river with hands inside his pockets. Naruto looks over at Aqualad. It seems you are the only one left. I wonder how long you will last before falling. Aqualad grips his weapons tightly. The others, Superboy, Kid Flash, Robin, and Miss Martian. Naruto raises a finger for each name. He then raises his thumb. Now it is Aqualad's turn. I have been seriously disappointed. I barely had to try to take them all down. I fear for the future of the Justice League. Sweat begins to pour down Aqualad's brow. His hands are becoming slick and his throat is dry. All his friends have been defeated. In front of him stands the person that took them all down. Aqualad doesn't see a single scratch or strand of hair out of place. Naruto takes a step forward. What will you do? Fight me or run in fear? I am not going to run. Aqualad activates his weapons, causing water from the river to fly towards his water bearers. The water forms into a pair of whips. Aqualad swings the whips with average skill. Naruto easily dodges the attacks. He can see the fear and desperation in Aqualad's eyes. It is the same fear that has been there since he used Samahata to take down Kid Flash. Aqualad is the only one who truly understood the extent of the power that he is facing. A kick to the face sends Aqualad backwards, hitting the ground hard. I have to admit, you are not as arrogant as the others. Though that doesn't mean you are smarter than them, said Naruto. Aqualad grits his teeth, slowly standing up. A ringing sound fills the air. Well, looks like the test is over. Come on, let's go see if your friends are awake, says Naruto, walking off. Break. Superboy groans as he slowly wakes up. A hand goes to his head, rubbing his temples before opening his eyes. He looks ahead to see Naruto leaning against a training post reading a book. Superboy tenses. The test is over. We failed, says Aqualad. Superboy turns his head to look at Aqualad. Aqualad moves his arm to gesture at Robin, Kid Flash, and Miss Martian, who are slowly waking up. Man, I have a major headache, Kid groans. Robin jumps to his feet. Is it over? Yes, answers Aqualad. Miss Martian looks down with guilty eyes. Then we have failed. Kid looks over at Naruto. No way, he beat us all. Superboy clenches his hands into fists. Naruto looks up from his book. Yes, I did. I have to say I don't know what the others see in you. In my opinion, all of you should retire and quit being heroes. Don't look down upon me. Superboy charges forward. In a blur, Naruto slams Superboy face first into the ground and holds a kunai with a green tip to his throat. Superboy feels his power vanishing. This is a kunai tipped with kryptonite. Do you feel your power disappearing? Asks Naruto. Superboy tries to move, but Naruto keeps him pinned. Naruto looks up at the others. A hard look appears in his eyes that promise pain and death. Miss Martian, kill Kid Flash or Superboy dies. Miss Martian's eyes fill with surprise and shock. She turns to look at Kid Flash, who gulps. Robin and Aqualad are frozen in place with fear. Suddenly the air changes as Naruto tosses Superboy over to the others. In a real battle, an enemy will not play fair or nice. He will use any advantage he can to win the fight, even so much as to resorting to taking hostages. Hostages that might be your friends or civilians, such as a small child. Naruto put his kunai away. He notices a look of guilt and defeat in the eyes of the young hero. That was harsh, says Kid, not his usually funny self. Life is harsh, especially for those who choose to be heroes. Naruto looks at them all with hard eyes. The test I gave you wasn't to test your individual abilities. You all have special abilities and powers. Guess what? So do I. You all have been fighting crime, so have I. The difference between us is that I am stronger. Don't like it? Too bad. That is the truth. There is a reason I am a part of the Justice League. Did you really think that any of you stood a chance against me one-on-one? Robin frowns. Then the test was impossible. Why give it to us? Naruto glances at Robin. Because the 5 of you need to realize that right now none of you have the power to face opponents like me on your own. The Justice League doesn't deal with simple criminals who wave around guns acting tough. We face super villains with powers and plans that can destroy the world. Then how were we supposed to pass the test? Said Kid. By working together like a team. Surprise fills the young heroes. What you can't accomplish alone, you can accomplish by working together. Why do you think I had all of you introduce yourselves before we started? To get to know one another and learn each other's abilities. However, the moment the test began, each of you ran off on your own, thinking it was going to be a piece of cake. If there is one thing you need to learn, it is to never underestimate your opponent, said Naruto. Aqualad spoke up. Give us another chance. We won't fail a second time. Come on, give us another try, said Robin. One more time, nodded Kid. Naruto stands quietly. He stares at the young heroes who look at him with such determined eyes. Okay. Smiles appear on the faces of the young heroes. I will give you one more chance, but not all of you will get the chance. For failing the first test, I am only going to allow 4 of you to take the second test. The 5th person will leave and not have a chance to become part of the team. Who that 5th person is I will leave up to you all. What? That isn't fair. My rules. Glared Naruto. Kid fell silent. I will give you 5 minutes to make your decisions or you all fail and none of you get a second chance. All of you will go back to being sidekicks. Aqualad steps forward throwing down his weapons. I refuse. I will not choose one of my friends and teammates to leave. Robin nods in agreement. Neither will I. Superboy folds his arms across his chest. We can always work together without the League's help. Yeah, smirked Kid. Miss Martian smiled. We won't betray another. A huge killing intent hit the young heroes. Fear fills them as they look over at Naruto, who has his eyes narrowed in anger. The wind starts to pick up, creating a minor gust of wind that hit the young heroes. I give you a second chance and you throw it back in my face. Naruto takes a step forward. I have only thing to say. Naruto stuffs his hands into his pocket. You pass. Kid falls to his ass. What? I thought you were going to kill us. I don't understand, said Miss Martian. I wanted to see if you would betray one another. If you did, then you fail, but you all stood together like a true team. Naruto turns around and starts to walk away. Team training begins tomorrow at sunrise. Don't be late. The holographic image fades away to reveal a large metallic room. Robin smirked. All right. Superboy smiled. Man, that guy is crazy. I do not look forward to team training, said Kid. I bet we will learn a great deal under his tutelage, said Aqualad. Miss Martian smiled. Anyone want some lunch? In the shadows, Naruto silently watches as the young heroes leave the training room, looking forward to tomorrow. A smile is hidden behind his mask. Perhaps this wouldn't be so bad after all. Wally stumbles forward, collapsing face first to the ground. Calder and Robin come over next, falling to their asses. Naruto looks up from his book to see Superboy carrying a worn-out Megan. Megan has a light blush. That wasn't bad. The teamwork needs work, but otherwise you did complete the exercise, says Naruto. This has to be some form of torture. In the morning, you put us through this hardcore workout. Then straight into through several obstacles courses from hell. Wally pants heavily. Robin nods. I thought Batman is a slave driver. Calder looks at Naruto. Naruto-sensei, it seems every move we made set off a trap. That is because it is a team exercise. When one of you reveals your presence, the others are caught as well. The only person who didn't activate a trap is Robin. Naruto glances at Megan. Some of you activated every trap. Megan blushes in embarrassment. Sorry. Naruto shakes his head. It isn't completely your fault. Teams work best with communication. Robin didn't communicate at all, too busy showing off, and the others were having just as hard as time as you. This team thing is going to take some getting used to, sighs Robin. That will be all for today. Meet again tomorrow at same time, said Naruto, forming a hand seal. In a swirl of leaves, he vanishes. That is cool, Wally says. Superboy walks out of the training room with a slight limp. The others are in no better condition. Break. Canary leans against the wall. A smirk appears on her face as she spots Naruto walking in her direction. Naruto glances at her, then keeps on walking. She comes up besides him. The two stand at the same height. How is it going with the kids? Why are you interested? Asks Naruto. Wow, I never expected you to take such an interest in training a group of kids. I guess you never know a person, huh? Teases Canary. Naruto pauses. His head turns to look at Canary. You are one of the few people I like, Canary. Don't make me kill you. She bursts out laughing as he starts to walk again. Canary walks besides him with a look of amusement. Maybe in the past he might have killed her over such a trivial thing, but the killer he used to be is long gone. He is a hero and one of the best she knows. He has no idea why he puts up with the woman. She is aggravating in so many ways. Though she is a good comrade, he has to admit that no, never allowed. Canary is one of the best martial artists in the world. The woman is a better martial artist than him and could probably give Batman a tough fight if not tie him. When he first entered the League, Canary is the one he had been partnered with. Naruto has come to trust the woman, and she is one of the few that doesn't look down upon him because of his young age. I didn't think I would like it at first, but they have potential. It is better than running around a city looking for criminals and villains to fight, says Naruto. Maybe, but we both know that you could do what the League wants them to do all on your own. No one is better at moving around in the shadows than you, said Canary. That is true, Naruto agrees. I have no desire to become the shadow of the Justice League. My days of a ninja are over. I much prefer the light to the darkness. A smile appears on Canary's face. Those kids have no idea how lucky they are to have Naruto as a teacher. The one person you want to learn how to work in the shadows from is Naruto. He is the best. Break. Speedy moves quickly, firing several impact arrows. The arrows fly through the air, hitting Brick. 3 explosions fill the docks. Out of the smoke emerges Brick with his shirt ruined. Arg. Do know how hard it is to find clothes in my size. Brick rips off what remains of the shirt, revealing his chest and arms that are filled with bulging muscles. Brick points at Speedy. Waste him. The thugs that work for Brick draw their weapons, opening fire at Speed. A yellow blur comes running through the docks, knocking out 3 thugs. I'll take those, smirks Kid Flash, taking the weapons away from several thugs. Robin jumps high into the air, tossing 4 bird-a-rangs. A smirk appears on his face as he easily takes out 4 more thugs. How's it going, Speedy? We came to invite you to join our team. Aqualad runs forward, forming a pair of whips with his water bearers. The whips of water shoot through the air, taking down the remaining 2 thugs. The base is filled with everything that we need. Hubby-sensei is training us to start taking missions, says Aqualad. Yeah. Plus Miss Martian is a real babe, smirks Kid, appearing next to Speedy. Speedy notches an arrow, point it directly at Brick. Go ahead, Brick smirks. The arrow flies at Brick. Instead of exploding, it releasing high-density polyfoam that engulfs Brick. Kid smirks. Nice one. Robin lands next to Speedy. Aqualad jumps up next to Speedy. What do you say? Smiles Robin. No thanks. Speedy turns around. I have no desire to join your clubhouse. The League is merely keeping you all busy. With those words, Speedy takes his leave, disappearing into the shadows. Mount Justice. Robin and Wally enter Mount Justice. Is he back yet? Smirked Robin. Aqualad smiles. He is returning now. Superboy and Miss Martian are on either side of Aqualad. Well, let's get out there, said Wally excitedly. Red Tornado does not deploy us on missions. It is unlikely he will be giving us a mission, said Megan. Better than staying here and doing nothing, said Wally before running off. Robin and Aqualad followed. Superboy and Megan share a look before walking in the same direction. Outside the mountain, a section of the ground sinks down into a ramp. Wally comes running up the ramp, followed by Robin and Calder. Superboy and Megan come up the ramp behind the others. A red tornado is in the sky, coming right towards them. It lands on the ground in front of them. Red Tornado stands in front of the team of young heroes. Red Tornado, smiled Wally. Greetings, is there a reason you intercepted me outside the cave? Asked Red Tornado in that emotionless robotic voice. We hoped you had a mission for us, said Calder. Mission deployment is done by hubby or Batman, Red Tornado replies. But it has been over a week. Robin stops as Red Tornado raises its hand. You will be tested soon enough. For the time being, I suggest you enjoy each other's company. Calder frowns. This team is not a social club. Red Tornado nods in agreement. No, it isn't. However, I am told social interaction is an important team-building exercise. Perhaps you can keep busy by familiarizing yourself with the cave. The superhero android walks past the young heroes into the cave. Wally nudges Robin. Keep busy. Does he think we are falling for that? Scowls Robin. Megan gives a reassuring smile. Naruto-sensei did say we will receive missions when we are ready. It has only been a week. No offense, but he doesn't seem to really care about us. I mean, he is always putting us through those crazy training obstacles that we can never pass. He rarely ever speaks unless it is to criticize us, and is always reading a book rather than helping us out, says Kid. Aqualad shakes his head. Naruto-sensei is doing his best to help train us. I am sure he is just as new at this as we are. Let's do as Red Tornado says. Time to explore the clubhouse. Well, maybe it won't be so bad. Superboy and I live here so we can be tour guides, smiled Miss Martian. She is trying her to best look at the positives of the situation. Superboy scoffed. Don't look at me. We won't, smirked Wally, standing close to Megan. A private tour sounds much better. Robin frowned. She didn't say anything about private. Team building. We all go, said Calder. Megan takes the lead in showing them around Mount Justice. She shows them the front and back doors. The entire mountain is the base, smiled Megan. It was hollowed out by Green Lantern and Superman, then reinforced in the early days of the League, explained Wally. Then why abandon it for the Hall of Justice? Asked Superboy. The base was compromised, answers Calder. Superboy frowned. So they traded it for a tourist trap. That doesn't make any sense at all. Wait, if the bad guys know our location then we must be on alert at all times, said Megan worried. Robin smirked. The bad guys know we know about them knowing so they would never think to look here. In other words, we are hiding in plain sight, explained Wally. Megan smiled. That makes sense. Superboy sniffed the air. I smell smoke. A gasp escapes Megan. My cookies. She flies off. The others look at each other curiously before heading the same direction. They reach the kitchen to find Miss Martian standing in front of a counter table with a baking sheet filled with burned cookies. Oh no, I was trying out Granny Jones' recipe from episode 7. Never mind, smiles Megan sheepishly. Hey, don't worry about it. I am sure they would have tasted great. He doesn't seem to mind, smirked Robin. A crunching sound makes everyone look at Wally, who is munching down on the cookies. What? I have a serious high metabolism, said Wally. I'll make more, said Megan. It was sweet of you to make any, smiles Calder. Thanks, smiles Megan. Hello Megan, I know what we can do, follow me. Megan flews off. Robin, Wally, Superboy and Calder look at each other before shrugging. The four follow in the same direction. Megan smiles brightly as she gestures to a pod-shaped red object. Here it is. This is my Mars bimolecular ship. It is how I got here. Cute. Not very aerodynamic, but cute, said Wally. Silly. It's still asleep. I'll wake it up. The boys all watch as the pod transforms into an alien spacecraft. Megan uses her telekinesis to turn it around, then open up the back. A ramp comes down and a door appears. Come on, smiled Megan. Robin steps forward first. Others follow. Robin and Wally smirk excitedly as 4 seats appear. Take a seat and strap in, smiled Megan, sitting in a special seat that appeared for her. Whoa, said Robin as the strap immediately buckles him in. This is cool, smirked Wally. Megan raises her hands. A blue sphere of energy surrounds each hand that sink into the ship. She smiles. Red Tornado, please open the dock bay doors. The doors open, showing Red Tornado received the request. The ship flies out of the mountain at a moderate speed. Incredible, smiled Robin. Yeah, she sure is, sighed Wally dreamily. Megan gives a confused look. I mean the ship, and like all ships it is a she. Fast with his feet, not so much with his mouth, smirked Robin. Dude, hey, how about showing us a little Martian shape-shifting? Robin says. Megan stands up, causing Calder and Superboy to turn around. She transforms into a female version of Robin. Then into a female version of Kid Flash. It is wrong, I think I am hot, smiled Wally. Robin claps his hands as Megan returns to normal. Impressive, but you're not going to fool anyone like that. Mimicking boys are a lot harder, said Megan. And your clothes, says Calder. Megan smiled. They are organic like the ship. I can mentally bend them to my will. As long as they are the only ones, said Superboy. That comment sure killed the mood. Hey, I know what else I can show you. On the outside, the ship became invisible. Camouflage. I can make it invisible, smiled Megan. A beeping sound followed by a picture of Red Tornado comes on the screen. There is a disturbance at the power plant in Happy Harbor. While you are out there, might I suggest you looking into the matter, said Red Tornado before ending the transmission. Red Tornado is keeping us busy, scowled Robin. Well, a fire led you to Superboy. Who knows what this will lead us to? Might as well investigate what is causing the disturbance, said Megan. Superboy looks outside. I think I found what is causing the disturbance. The team looks to see an abnormally large tornado heading straight for them. Megan tries to fly away, but the fierce winds suck them in. The tornado starts to take them for a spin. She manages to fly out of the tornado and into the parking lot. The ship hovers above the ground before a hole opens up beneath it. 5 heroes fall out, landing lightly on the ground. Robin, are tornadoes common in New England? Asked Calder. No answer. Robin. Laughter fills the air as Robin has silently snuck off with nobody noticing. He was just here, gasps Megan in surprise. In the building, Robin cries out in pain as a blast of wind sent him flying into the wall. Superboy runs in front of Robin. Who's your new friend? I didn't catch his name, but he plays rough, glared Robin behind his glasses. Calder stares at the one responsible. It reminds him of Red Tornado on steroids. A much more bulky build with large arms. Superboy runs forward. The villain raises its arms creating a powerful gust of wind. Superboy grits his teeth as he slowly moves forward. A twister is created that engulfs Superboy, spinning him around then sending him flying. Calder couldn't move in time and is hit by Superboy. Both are sent tumbling to the ground. Wally put on his goggles and runs forward at high speeds. The villain creates another twister that sends Wally flying through the building wall and outside into a tree far away. Robin and Megan come in next, but a twister picks them up, spinning them around before slamming them into each other. I came here expecting to fight a superhero, yet I find children, said Mr. Twister. A yell came from Superboy as he leaps towards Mr. Twister. Mr. Twister raises its arms creating a small twister that blasts Superboy into the far wall. Take this. Robin tosses a flash grenade followed by a bird-a-rang. The blast is deflected by a twister, but the bird-a-rang struck Mr. Twister in the chest. Mr. Twister flicks away the bird-a-rang. No more games. Mr. Twister raises its arms creating a powerful tornado that strikes the four young heroes and goes on to destroy most of the factory. Mr. Twister turns around flying out of the building. Wally spots Mr. Twister moving away from the factory. Hey, what did you do with my friends? Wally runs forward. Mr. Twister easily dodges him then sends a twister at Wally, which sends him flying back towards the power plant. Pathetic, says Mr. Twister turning to leave. It isn't over yet. Robin emerges from the factory. Superboy, Megan, Calder, and Wally all come out as well. I would have thought that you all would have realized your limitations and stayed down, said Mr. Twister. What do you want? Demands Calder. I would think that is obvious. I want to challenge a real hero. Megan read his mind and find a weakness, said Calder. Megan has a surprised look. I thought I wasn't supposed to read the mind of others. You can read the minds of the bad guys, Wally replies. Megan gives a nod, reaching out with her telepathy. Surprise fills her as she can't sense any mental activity at all. I can't read his mind. He is an inorganic being. Hello Megan. Of course, Mr. Twister is Red Tornado in disguise. Mr. Twister is inorganic. How many android do you know that can manipulate twisters? Said Megan. Calder's eyes widen. Red Tornado sent us here. After telling us that we would be tested soon. This is his test. Something to keep us busy, said Robin. Speedy called it. We're a joke, said Wally. Calder punched his fist into his palm. Wally scowls. This game is over. Wally, Robin, and Calder approached Mr. Twister. We know who you are and what you want, yelled Robin. Let's end this, said Calder. Consider it ended. Mr. Twister raises its arms. The skies began to darken. An eye of a tornado started to form. Impressive, but we will not indulge you, yelled Calder. Lightning starts to fill the skies. Can Red Tornado do that? Gulped Wally. Mr. Twister looked down upon the young heroes. You think that I am Red Tornado? How ironic. The super-villain android thrust his hands down at the young heroes. A massive bolt of lightning comes down from above. It comes straight towards the group of young heroes. A blur appears in front of the young heroes. Caden. A dome of spinning chakra appears around the young heroes, deflecting the lightning away harmlessly. Surprise fills the young heroes. Mr. Twister stares down, wondering what is happening. The sphere of chakra fades away. I don't appreciate you attacking my students. Naruto stands in front of his students, crouching with arms extended in each direction. He stands up, arms relaxing to his sides as he stares up at Mr. Twister. Another child. I grow tired of facing children. Mr. Twister stares at Hubby. Hubby narrows his eyes. I don't care what your opinion of me is. However, I will not allow you to harm my students. Now I will be your opponent. His hands come together, flashing through hand seals. He brings his fingers up to his mouth. Fire release. Phoenix of the Sage Fire. A half-dozen fireballs fly towards Mr. Twister. Mr. Twister raises its arms, releasing a powerful gust of wind. The gust of wind blows out the fireballs, but the shuriken hidden inside continue forward. Hubby's fingers twitch, using the invisible ninja wire to wrap around Mr. Twister. He gives the wire a yank, slamming Mr. Twister straight into the ground. Robin's eyes widen. Whoa, I didn't know he can breathe fire. This fight is pointless. Hubby releases the ninja wire, freeing Mr. Twister. What are you doing? Says Calder. You are letting him go. Wally is so confused. Mr. Twister stands up. It seems I underestimated you. I will not make that mistake a second time. Hubby stares at Mr. Twister. Miss Martian, open a mental link connecting our minds. Okay. Miss Martian connected their minds. It is time to work as a team. This villain is severely limited in his abilities. Together you can overcome him, Hubby spoke mentally. Team battle formation beta. Miss Martian flies backwards away from the others. Robin pulls out his utility belt, wrapping it across his body. Superboy cracks his knuckles and Calder crouches into a fighting stance. Wally adjusts his goggles. Hubby's hands blur, tossing 4 smoke balls that explode. Trying to hide, Mr. Twister blows away the smoke. All the heroes are gone. Mr. Twister looks around, trying to find his targets. It looks up to see Miss Martian flying in the sky. I see they all ran away, leaving you behind. A red blur runs at Mr. Twister from the side. Mr. Twister raises its right arm, creating a minor gust of wind. Wally smirks as he turns on a dime, avoiding the gust of wind. Have to be faster than that. Wally runs in a wide circle around Mr. Twister. A laughter fills the air. Robin jumps off the roof of the factory, tossing a barrage of bird-a-rangs. Wally is hit by a gust of wind that knocks him away. Mr. Twister creates a gust of wind that blows the bird-a-rangs away. The bird-a-rangs stay frozen in the air, much to the supervillain's confusion. Miss Martian smiles as she uses her telekinesis to move the half-dozen bird-a-rangs in random patterns around Mr. Twister. I grow tired of this. Mr. Twister raises both arms, creating a powerful tornado that engulfs everything in a 5-foot radius around him. The bird-a-rangs are destroyed by the tornado. The tornado dies down. A tree comes flying at Mr. Twister's back. Mr. Twister is hit. The supervillain is carried by the tree through the air and into the ground. Parts of the metal that make up the android's body break from the impact of the tree. Mr. Twister's chest has been heavily damaged. Sparks come off the android. Mr. Twister has no time to recover as 2 whips of water wrap around his body. Calder uses his super strength to spin Mr. Twister around, tossing him into the air. Miss Martian flies above him and uses her telekinesis to freeze him in the air. Robin tosses his explosive bird-a-rangs. The bird-a-rangs pierce Mr. Twister's arms and chest. A second later, a large explosion fills the sky. Superboy jumps up, catching the badly damaged android that fell from the cloud of smoke. Mr. Twister is missing its left arm and there is a small hole in his chest. Let's see you survive this. Superboy spins around, tossing Mr. Twister face first into the ground. The impact causes another explosion, this one of dirt and rocks. A small crater forms from the impact with Mr. Twister lying in the middle of it. Mr. Twister lie unmoving with no head. The chest opened up, revealing a middle-aged man with shaggy brown hair and a beard. Please, no more. I promise I won't cause any more trouble, begged the man. Hubby swings Samahata, hitting the man. The man explodes in a shower of metal and fire. He places Samahata onto his back. I am disappointed that you all didn't work as a team from the beginning. This is why I haven't had Batman give you any missions, said Naruto firmly. Did you really think that to test you all we would have Red Tornado dress up and put civilians in danger? Calder sighs. It looks like we let our arrogance get the better of us again. Yeah, sorry about that, Sensei, says Wally sheepishly. I guess we weren't thinking about that. We were worried that you didn't really care about us, whispers Megan. Naruto raises an eyebrow. If I didn't care, then I would have left after the first day of meeting you all. He walks up towards the young heroes. I know you all must be eager to prove yourselves. Eager to show the Justice League and more importantly the world that you are not children, but full-fledged heroes. I assure you that all of you will get that chance. Robin smiles. Guess we are going back to training, huh? No. Naruto shakes his head. Today you have shown me that when you all work together as a team, you can overcome any obstacle. I'll see about getting a mission. Yes. Wally and Robin bumped fists. Superboy smirks. Megan and Calder smile. Unknown location. Now Brom, aren't you happy that I didn't have you pilot the machine? Smiled the professor. Extremely, but aren't you upset? Said Brom. The professor smiles. The screen shows the young heroes who had defeated his creation, Mr. Twister. No, I believe that the tracking system is operational and that the real red tornado was somewhere in the vicinity. Besides, you know how science works. Even failures can be used as progress. And I do believe we have made progress, smiled the professor. Mount Justice. Calder looks up at Red Tornado. This android was clearly sent to disable or destroy you. Yes, I agree, said Red Tornado. Lying on a metal table in the middle of the room is the destroyed Mr. Tornado. Is that why you didn't help us? Asked Megan. No. Red Tornado turned to face Megan. I do not believe it is my duty to solve your problems for you. Nor it is your duty to solve mine. Besides, Naruto is your teacher, I leave that to him. Megan frowned. But if you are in trouble. Red Tornado raises his hand, silencing her with a mere gesture. Consider this matter closed. With that, Red Tornado turned around, leaving the room. Red Tornado is not a human. Though he is trying to understand our emotions, he isn't quite there yet, says Naruto. Megan nods in understanding. Speedy was so wrong, smirked Wally. Yeah, this team thing, smiled Robin. It just might work out, finished Calder with a smirk of his own. Naruto smiles behind his mask. Yes, the team might indeed work out. He is going to see that it does. Santa Prista, a Martian bio-ship flew through the air. It is heading towards an island in the distance. In the ship, the team of young heroes are dressed and ready for combat. This would be officially their first mission. Robin sits in his seat thinking about the debriefing. Batman and Naruto stood in front of the young heroes. On the monitor behind them, an image of island appeared. La Santa Prista. This island nation is the primary source of a dangerous and illegal neo-steroid. A strength-enhancing drug that is sold under the street name under the name Venom. Infrared has shown that the factories are still functional, but the shipments of Venom have been inexplicably stopped. This is where you all step in. This is a covert recon mission. You are there only to observe and find out what is going on. If need be, the League will step in, explained Batman. Naruto spoke next. Suit up and be ready to go in 20 minutes. Reaching drop zone A, said Miss Martian. Aqualad stands up, pressing the center of his shirt. His clothes change to a dark color that doesn't reflect any light. Ready. A hole opens up beneath the ship where Aqualad is standing. Aqualad dives down into the ocean below. In the water are dozens upon dozens of mines. With ease, Aqualad easily swims by the mines until he comes upon a large cargo net. Drawing his weapons, he forms two blades of highly concentrated water. He slices through the net, then swims through it. Aqualad comes out upon the beach. He runs over to the motion sensors and pulls out a device that will put them on continuous loops. It makes a beeping sound as he plugs it into the motion sensors. Motion and heat sensors are on continuous loops. I will meet you at drop zone B, reports Aqualad. In the ship, Miss Martian puts the ship into camouflage mode. It becomes invisible to the naked eyes. She flies it towards drop zone B. Almost at the drop zone, said Miss Martian. Robin stands up. Miss Martian focuses and a grapple line comes down from above. Robin attaches it to his utility belt. Kid Flash pushes the lightning symbol on the middle of his chest. The new stealth gear activates. Instead of the bright yellow and red he usually wears, it becomes black that doesn't reflect sunlight. Is this cool or what? Smirked Kid. It is impressive, smiled Miss Martian. She focuses and her clothes change to a black and red bodysuit. Wow, that works too, smirked Kid. Kid turns to look at Superboy. Hey Super, sure you don't want to try the new stealth tech? Superboy folded his arms across his chest. No tights, no capes, no offense. It totally works for you, sighed Miss Martian dreamily. Superboy turns to face her, raising an eyebrow. In that you can totally work in those clothes. She raises the hood of her cloak and becomes invisible to hide in embarrassment. Naruto adjusted his headgear. Superboy attached to the grappling line. Why, I can make the landing. It isn't a question, says Naruto. Superboy gives a nod attaching the grappling line. I am well aware of your abilities. You are correct, a jump from this height will not harm you, but it will cause a tremor the moment you impact with the ground. This is a covert mission. A seismic event will blow our cover. It looks like a hole appears in the sky. 3 objects dropped out of the hole. Robin, Kid, and Superboy land lightly on the ground. Miss Martian came flying out, hovering above the ground. Aqualad, this is hubby. We are at drop zone B. Report location and estimated time of arrival to our location, whispered hubby. I am still a few minutes away. I'll use the GPS to track your location and meet up with you all along the way, said Aqualad. Hubby gives a nod. Copy that. He raises his hand, giving the signal to move out. Superboy leaps up into the branch next to Robin. Hubby takes the lead, leaping to the next branch. Robin easily jumps to a branch above, grabbing it, then using it to spin around and jump to the next branch. In a single leap, Superboy lands next to hubby. A slight crack appears in the branch. Lightly center your weight so that the impact is lightened. Hubby jumps high through the air. Superboy watches as hubby's sensei lands, causing barely any movement to the branch. Kid runs across the forest, making sure to stick to the shadows like he has been taught. He also makes sure not to get ahead of the others. Miss Martian flies in the back, taking up the rear. She is invisible so that no one can see her. Robin lifts his arms. A holographic image shows several red dots up ahead. I got 2 groups up ahead. Gunshots and yelling soon fill the air. Up ahead, Bane opens fire upon the group of Cobra followers. The supervillain wants back his factories. It has been a week since these Cobra fools have managed to forcefully take his factories from him. He didn't know what they wanted or what they are doing with his Venom factories. Personally, he didn't care. All he wants is his island back, and he will do anything to get it back. A shadow came up behind Bane. Hubby presses his palm to Bane's back. Lightning style. 1000 volts. Lightning courses through Bane's body. A hand covers Bane's mouth to prevent his screams from warning the others. Robin drops down from above, taking out 2 Cobra cultists. Kid, moving at high speeds, easily takes the weapons from 3 of Bane's men. The men look around in confusion, not seeing what happened to their weapons. An invisible force grabs the 3 men that lost their weapons to Kid and slammed them into each other. All 3 dropped to the ground unconscious. Hey, smiles Robin, waving at 3 Cobra cultists. They raise their weapons. Superboy drops down behind them. He grabs 2 of them, slamming them into each other, then tossing them into a tree. The remaining Cobra cultist turns to point his weapon at Superboy. A blow from behind sends the Cobra cultists to the ground unconscious. Aqualad stands over the Cobra cultists. All the Cobras and Bane's men are tied up. I recognize those uniforms. They are part of the cult of the Cobra, said Robin. Hubby nods. Yes, the question is, why is Cobra stealing the Venom formula? Who knows, shrugs Wally. Miss Martian steps forward. I can try reading their minds. Hubby walks over to a Cobra cultist. Aqualad raises his weapon, spraying the Cobra cultists with water. The man wakes up rudely. Miss Martian kneels in front of him, eyes glowing. He tries to resist, but has no mental training at all. Cobra is here creating a new Venom formula that is even stronger than the one Bane has. It seems that Cobra has even used the new formula to create some type of monster. She shakes her head. Hubby kicks the cultist in the temple, putting him back to sleep. Aqualad looks at Hubby's sensei. What do we do now? Our primary mission is complete. Now I am adding a new mission. Our mission is to obtain a sample of this new Venom formula and destroy the factory making it, orders Hubby. He glances at the unconscious and bound Cobra cultists. Miss Martian, please turn around. She tilts her head in curiosity. Factory. 3 individuals wearing red cloaks and black clothes walk towards the factory. The 3 Cobras are heading straight towards the factory. A pair of Cobra guards greeted the 2 upon reaching the factory. Name and identification, orders the guard. No time. Bane and his men. An explosion goes off nearby. The Cobra turns around, raising their weapons. Hurry. Call for reinforcements. Right. The guard reaches for his communication. Teams 2 and 3 move to the east side of the factory. A punch to the face knocks out the guard. The other didn't get a chance to respond as a punch knocks him out as well. Cobra raises his hand to his ear. Robin, Kid, Fall back to Miss Martian's position. We are in, reported Hubby. Superboy and Aqualad lower their cloaks. The two begin to hide the bodies of the guards. Break. Kid smirks before putting on his goggles. The infrared feature allows him to see that there are 6 guards up ahead. I'll handle this. He moves at such speeds that he becomes a blur. The guards never have a chance as their weapons are taken from them. Robin tosses 3 explosive bird A-rangs at random spots in the factory. A couple seconds later the bird A-rangs explode. The explosions are heard and felt by all those near and inside the factory. I believe that is good enough for a distraction, smirks Robin. Oh yeah, Kid appears next to Robin. Much better than sneaking around in someone else's clothes. Robin pauses. Sensei and the others are in. Time to meet up with Miss Martian. Factory. Aqualad hides behind a crate. He glances over at the other side of the room where Superboy is hiding. The two of them are in position. Aqualad places an explosive seal upon one of the crates, then moves on to another crate doing the same. Superboy places an explosive tag on the walls. The two young heroes converge on Hubby, who is watching Cobra load up the new Venom formula. Cobra is here, whispers Hubby. Cobra, says Superboy. The leader of the cultists and a worldwide terrorist, answers Aqualad. Hubby raises his hands to his communication link. Radio is full of static. Let's hope Miss Martian connects our minds, or we are operating as 2 separate teams. Break. Robin finds a room filled with computers. It is a piece of cake to take care of the one Cobra follower. His fingers fly over the console as he hacks into the mainframe. Kid comes running into the room, but Robin doesn't even look up. Miss Martian flies in behind Kid. What you got? Asked Kid. It is a chemical formula. I am guessing it involves venom, said Robin. Kid peers over Robin's shoulder. This one is venom and that one is woe. That is the blockbuster formula from Cadmus. Mixed correctly, the 2 are 3 times more powerful and permanent. How did Cobra get its hand on blockbuster from Cadmus? Cobra's buyer must also be its supplier. Using the cult to create a blockbuster super venom. Robin stands up, touching his communication link. Robin to Aqualad, we got a static. Miss Martian smiles. I'll connect our minds. She closes her eyes, reaching out to Superboy, Aqualad, and Hubby. Sensei, this is Miss Martian. Can you hear me? Good job, Miss Martian. Realizing our communication is down and connecting our minds, says Hubby. Miss Martian smiles proudly. What did you all find out? Kid starts to speak next. Cobra has used the blockbuster formula combining with the venom formula to create a new formula that is 3 times more powerful and permanent. This stuff is no joke. A pause. Robin, I want you to download that file if possible, then erase it from the mainframe. That formula is too dangerous to let out of this factory. We are burying this factory and the formula with it, Hubby orders. Consider it done. Robin smirks. Oh no. Miss Martian turns her head as the doors to the room open. A Cobra cultist enters. The Cobra presses a button on his arm, activating the alarm. Kid runs forward, knocking the Cobra out in a single punch. Damn, make it quick, Robin, says Kid, seeing others coming. Break. It's a massive shipment, said Aqualad. Yeah, but they are only taking the new stuff. They are not even touching the stock over here, said Superboy. Hubby nods. Why touch the old formula when the new formula is so much more powerful? Superboy looked up. Helicopter is coming. A cargo helicopter lands in front of the assembled cult. The ramp comes down, and out of the helicopter is Sportsmaster. The villain walks up towards the leader of the extreme cultist. Lord Cobra, greeted Sportsmaster. Sportsmaster, the shipment is ready, said Cobra. Shimmer steps forward holding a box. She opens it up, revealing 8 vials with a blue-purple chemical substance inside. Sportsmaster picks up a vial and examines it. The new Cobra venom, said the villain. Cobra gestures to the 10-foot-tall muscular giant standing behind him. A complete success. Your friends will not be disappointed. This is a game changer. Finally we can go head to head with the League, said Sportsmaster. An alarm starts to go off. Intruders. Cobra narrows his eyes. Hidden shadow snake hands. A dozen snakes fly from behind the crates, wrapping around 6 cultists. Hubby comes running out from behind the crates straight towards Cobra and Sportsmaster. Sportsmaster draws a lance, tossing it straight at Hubby. A Canary flies through the air, slicing through the lance, forcing Sportsmaster to dodge to the side. Mammoth, the monster created by the new Cobra venom, charges towards Hubby. A shadow comes down from above. Superboy raises both arms, drilling Mammoth face first into the ground. Cobra cultists aim their weapons at Hubby. 2 whips of water knock the weapons out of the hands of the cultists. Aqualad forms the water into a pair of maces that he uses to smash 3 Cobra members. Mammoth roars, delivering a punch that sends Superboy flying into the crates. Hubby appears between Sportsmaster and Cobra. A punch and a kick send both villains flying in opposite directions. Kid and Robin take down the cultists. Aqualad and Miss Martian handles the beast, orders Hubby telepathically. "Oh yeah, this is what I am talking about." Kid comes running by, knocking out several cultists. "Bet I can take down more than you," smirks Robin. Robin flips forward, delivering a spin kick that takes out 2 cultists. Superboy charges forward, blocking a punch, then flipping Mammoth over his back, slamming the monster back first down on the ground. "All power, no style," smirks Superboy, jumping back. Naruto-sensei taught him how to control his strength instead of fighting like a wild, untamed beast. Mammoth growls, rising to its feet and charging towards Superboy blindly. A pair of crates flies through the air, smashing into Mammoth. Miss Martian flies in the air above Mammoth and Superboy, using her telekinetic powers to life another crate. Mammoth looks up at Miss Martian, losing focus on Superboy. "Superboy, hit him over here," yells Aqualad. Superboy runs forward, delivering a powerful right hook that sends Mammoth flying towards Aqualad. Aqualad used his water bearers to soak the floor in water. Mammoth fell into the large puddle of water. Aqualad places his hands on the surface of the water. The tattoos on his arm glow as lightning courses through his arm into the water. Water conducts the lightning, electrocuting Mammoth. A deep scream comes from Mammoth before the beast drops to the ground unconscious. Hubby blocks a kick, then delivers a palm thrust that knocks Cobra backwards. He spins around, batting away a spear. His knee comes up, hitting Sportsmaster in the gut. An uppercut lifts Sportsmaster off the ground, knocking him to the ground. "The 2 of you should surrender. You're not even on my level," says Hubby coldly. Cobra glares. "A mere insect thinks he can take on a god." "I am positive that you are no god," Hubby replies. Sportsmaster draws a plasma rifle. Hubby dodges rapidly as Sportsmaster opens fire at him. Cobra gets behind Hubby. A kick strikes Hubby in the back, knocking him forward. A smirk appears under Sportsmaster's mask as he fires. "No," yells Robin. Eyes fill with horror as the plasma blast punches a hole through Hubby's chest, going out the back. Kid freezes. "And no, sensei," yells Aqualad. Miss Martian places a hand over her mouth as tears brim her eyes. "Arg," Superboy yells in anger, charging forward. A plasma blast hits Superboy in the chest, sending him flying backwards. "Looks like we made the kids upset," says Sportsmaster. Cobra gives a small smirk. "Such is the price when one challenges a god." Robin draws a metal pole that extends into a staff. "I'll make you both pay." Aqualad creates a pair of water swords. Kid adjusts his goggles with hard eyes. Miss Martian and Superboy are filled with anger, ready to fight as well. "Remember, we work as a team," says Aqualad. A pair of hands burst out of the ground, grabbing Sportsmaster by the ankles. Sportsmaster's eyes widen as he is pulled into the ground up to his neck. Hubby bursts out of the ground behind Sportsmaster. Earth style. Inner decapitation. Hubby stands over Sportsmaster unharmed. A kick to the temple knocks Sportsmaster out cold. Cobra narrows his eyes. "Impossible." Hubby stands calmly. "What's the matter? Are you feeling fear?" Team Delta formation. A second later, Cobra looks around to see that he is surrounded. Kid looks to see a destroyed log where Hubby had been shot. "Huh. It is your move, Cobra," says Hubby, twirling a pair of kunai. Superboy smirks. "Please try to fight us." Cobra glares at Hubby. Another day. He drops a smoke pellet onto the ground. The cloud of smoke disappears to reveal Cobra is gone. Hubby pulls Sportsmaster out of the ground. "Time to go." Hubby forms a ram seal. The explosive seals inside the factory activate. A large explosion that can be seen for miles erupts on the island. An invisible Martian ship flies away. Unknown location. Cobra stands in front of several monitors with images of light. "I managed to recover one of the vials." He holds out a vial of the Cobra venom. Unfortunately, all data on the formula has been lost. A figure spoke in a deep French accent. The formula can be reversed engineered from that vial. Can it not? Spoke the voice. The news of what occurred. First Cadmus, second Mr. Twister, and now Santa Prista. A new deeper voice spoke up. Once as happenstance, twice as a coincidence, but 3 times as enemy action. And enemies of the light must be condemned. Mount Justice. Batman stands in front of the team of young heroes. Naruto stands off to the side listening to the debriefing. A simple reconnaissance mission. I have gone over the reports and I must say that you all did admirably. The young heroes smile and smirk, puffing their chests out a bit. You followed your orders and were able to find out what is going on in Santa Prista without revealing your presence. Then the mission's parameters were changed and all of you adapted. Most plans don't go according to plan and sometimes a change of orders occurs. How you adjust to these changes determines the success of the mission. Naruto steps forward as Batman leaves the room. Batman is right, all of you performed very well. I didn't expect the mission to go so smoothly. That being said, don't expect all missions to go that way. I will not always be there to accompany you. I am choosing Robin to be leader of the team in my absence. Aqualad, you will be second in command should Robin become incapacitated or unable to join the mission. Robin smirks. I won't let you down. Thank you, it is a great honor, says Aqualad. I am impressed. Take tomorrow off as a reward. Naruto turns around leaving the room. Kid smirks. Oh yeah, we so kick ass. Miss Martian smiles. Congratulations Robin and Aqualad. Thanks, smirks Robin. Calder crouches into his stance. He focuses, making the water in front of him take the form of a large dome. The dome surrounds his entire body. Naruto stands a short distance away. That is good, but let's test its strength. He flashes through at hand seals too fast for Calder to follow. Fire release. Dragon fire breath. A stream of superheated flames burst from Naruto's mouth towards the dome of water. The flames strike the dome of water. Calder grits his teeth. Sweat begins to pour down his face. Steam soon began to rise as the water evaporates. Calder can hold it no longer and dives out of the way, as the flames of fire engulf the spot where he had been standing. That is good. You held the dome for 1 minute and 30 seconds, says Naruto. It felt much shorter, pants Calder. Naruto pulls out his book. The point of this exercise is for you to learn more defensive techniques. Water is the most versatile of the elements. It can be offensive and defensive with a snap of the fingers. Always changing to fit the situation. That is how you must be. He snaps his fingers. I have an idea. There is a martial arts style that should help you. Calder becomes interested. Really? Yes. I'll have to speak with a friend, but I am sure she will agree, says Naruto. Batcave. Batman watches as Robin trains harder than usual. Robin has been like this ever since becoming the team leader of Team Hubby. Team Snake, it sure is an interesting name for a team. The truth is, Batman doesn't trust Hubby or Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto is a trained assassin who has no doubt taken the lives of many people. Most of the criminals are supervillains that face Naruto in battle end up on the brink of death, paralyzed in some form, or in long-term comas. If it weren't for the fact that Naruto is known to protect civilians at the cost of his life, he never would have been offered a membership to the League. Superman and Batman make sure to never call upon Naruto unless no other members are available. His brutal methods are not welcome. Canary is the one that suggested Naruto be put in charge of the team of young heroes. A team that fights in the shadows needs a teacher who is a master of the shadows. Batman will never say it aloud, but Naruto is the best at hiding in the shadows. The reason he agreed to offer Naruto the position was that he wanted to learn more about Naruto's abilities. Naruto knew everything about the other League members, including most of their secret identities, but no one, not even Canary, knew that much about Naruto. That makes him a major threat. Still, in a mere 3 weeks, Batman notices that Robin has improved a great deal from Naruto's tutelage. Robin moves more fluidly and his fighting abilities have increased. Flash and Aquaman have commented to him that their own sidekicks have improved as well. I am still going to keep my eyes on him, vowed Batman. Metropolis. A bus spins out of control, crashing into one of the beams holding up the Metropolis bridge. Several other cars crash into each other trying to get out of the way of the bus. Two of the steel wires break, making the bridge unstable. The bus tilts over the edge. Screams comes from the children inside the bus. Bruce Wayne looks out the window from his spot in Wayne Enterprise. He has been visiting Metropolis on business. This is Superman's city, and it will look suspicious if Batman shows up when Bruce Wayne is in town. His head turns and he watches as a blur shoots over the water. Superman flies across the water, coming up underneath the unstable bridge. Using his super strength, he holds the bridge up, then starts to use his heat vision to reinforce the steel beams under the bridge. A hard force shakes the bridge, almost destabilizing it. Superboy lands down upon the bridge with heavy force. He spots the bus almost about to fall off and runs over to it. A grit of the teeth, he begins to pull it back up, but it starts to fall forward. Then a force from the front of the bridge easily lifts the bus up. "I had it," said Superboy, looking at Superman. "Be that as it may, I offered my help." "You almost destabilized the bridge with your landing," said Superman. Superboy frowns. "Yeah, but I didn't. You need to be more careful. We don't know the extent of your powers." "Well, maybe you could help me with that," suggests Superboy hopefully. Superman hesitates. "Batman has that covered." "Yeah, I know. This is Superman. What is the situation, Green Arrow?" asked Superman, cutting Superboy off. "No, I am not busy. Send me the coordinates." Superman glances at Superboy. "I have to go, Boy." With those words, Superman flies off. Superboy looks down at the ground angrily. "Mount Justice. You really don't understand any of this, huh?" Robin smirks. Naruto gives an annoyed look. "I hate technology. It just gives people an excuse to be lazy." "No way. Technology helps us all." "Then explain why the obesity rate has gone up over the past decade." "It is because people make machines to do everything for them." Robin rubs his temples. "Do you want to learn how to turn on the computer or what?" Naruto glances away and gives a slight nod. A chuckle escapes Robin as he presses the power button. The computer turns out simple. Naruto scratches the back of his head. "Seems like a waste of time." "Okay, seriously, I can't work with you anymore, Sensei." Robin walks off. A sigh escapes Naruto, as he needs to find a way to understand all this technology. The computer blinks, waiting for him to type in the password. Naruto scratches the back of his head, not remembering. "Where is Robin? Is Superboy back yet?" asked Megan. She flies into the room with a worried look in her eyes. "Who cares about him when you could be hanging out with me?" smirked Kid. Calder shakes his head. "I am sure Superboy is fine." The portal opens up. Superboy enters the cave. "How did it go in Metropolis?" smiled Megan. "I don't want to talk about it," said Superboy angrily. Superboy walks right past them. Naruto raises his hand, stopping Megan. "I will speak with him." Break. Naruto enters the training room to find Superboy pounding on a steel training post. He walks over to Superboy. "Want to talk about it?" asks Naruto. "Talk about what?" "I am fine," replies Superboy. Naruto walks around the steel training post to look straight at Superboy. "I have known you for a short time, and in that time I have noticed that you have this deep well of anger inside of you. What are you so angry at?" Superboy punches the steel training post, breaking it in half. "I told you I am fine." A sigh escapes Naruto. "Well, if you ever need someone to talk to, come find me. I'll teach you how to overcome and harness that anger to do some good." "Not breaking my training posts." Naruto gives a wave as he walks away. Break. Martian Manhunter and Canary enter Mount Justice. "Uncle Jean." Megan smiles as she runs over to her uncle, hugging him. "I had some free time and decided to come visit you." "How have you been?" smiles Jean. "Things are a little rough, but I am learning." Jean smiles. "That is all I can ask." Canary walks over to Naruto. Naruto glances at the bandages around her right bicep. He is about to ask her what is going on, but stops as Superboy enters the room, still angry. A sigh escapes Naruto as Superboy looks away, avoiding eye contact. "Problems?" asks Canary. A screen opens up with Batman's face upon it. Batman starts to speak, not caring what else is going on. Batman to the cave. 5 hours ago, a new menace attacked Black Canary and Green Arrow. The attacker was capable of studying then duplicating the powers and abilities of its opponents, explained Batman. A smaller screen appears. It shows the attacker fighting multiple superheroes at once and is winning. Arrow called in reinforcements, which almost proved disastrous as our foe gained more and more powers with each new combatant. Whoa, a being with the powers of the entire League, gasped Kid. In the end, it took 8 League members 4 hours to defeat and dismantle the android, said Batman. Robin is surprised. An android? Who made it? The Amaro. Good guess, Robin, but Red Tornado doesn't think so, said Batman. Martian Manhunter spoke up. The technology bears the mark of Professor Evo. Evo, repeated Aqualad. But Evo is dead. That is what we thought as well, said Canary. Naruto starts to speak. Never assume anything unless there is a body to confirm it. Batman continued. The threat isn't permanently neutralized. It can still be rebuilt. That is why we are sending 2 trucks containing the parts to 2 separate Star Lab facilities in Boston and New York for immediate evaluation. Every precaution is being taken. 4 other decoy trucks are being sent out in case Evo or anyone else tries to take its remains. You will split into undercover teams and follow the trucks that contain the parts. Kid smirks. Yes, road trip. So now we take care of your garbage, said Superboy. You had something better to do, replied Batman. Coordinates received. Let's move out, says Naruto. Litchfield County. 6 armored trucks are parked near each other. Superman watches as the head and torso of the android are placed in one truck. Then the rest of the android's body is placed in another. The Man of Steel turns around, then uses his X-ray vision. He spots the team of young heroes including his own clone. Superboy looks up, causing Superman to look away. An angry look appears in Superboy's eyes. Green Arrow receives word that all the trucks are ready to go. He gives a nod to Batman. Batman raises his hand, giving the signal for the trucks to move out. The trucks start up and head out into the highway. Red Tornado, Captain Atom, and Flash all leave. Superman is about to fly off as well, but Batman places a hand on his shoulder. We need to talk, said Batman. No, I am the one who will do the talking, says Naruto, stepping towards the 2 heroes. He gives the signal. The 6 young heroes ride out following the trucks. My team can handle this on their own. Superman frowns. What do you want to talk about? Naruto stares calmly at Superman. I want you to get over whatever problems you have with Superboy. I don't have. Yes, you do. Naruto is not intimidated by the Man of Steel. Superman narrows his eyes. Batman watches the 2 calmly. He's not your clone. Yes, he has been created from the same DNA as you, but I assure you he is nothing like you. The physical resemblance is all that the 2 of you share. So don't feel any obligation to treat him as family. Better yet, stay away from him altogether. I'll watch over him since you are too scared to. Superman stands up straight. Good, then I leave it in your hands. Naruto and Batman watch as Superman flies away. Batman narrows his eyes. Superboy is going to need his father. Naruto glances at Batman. Or what? He'll turn out like you. Batman narrows his eyes. Stay away from my student, or you'll get to see the full extent of my powers like you so desire. In a swirl of leaves, Naruto vanishes. Robin and Superboy. Robin comes up beside Superboy. If dislike is the opposite of like, then is disaster then opposite of aster. See, instead of things going wrong, they go right. Superboy didn't say anything. Guess you're not feeling the aster. What's wrong? Asked Robin. It's nothing, replies Superboy. Hey, listen, I know it must be hard being around Superman. Actually, I don't know, but you should know that if you ever need to talk that we are here for you. Friends first, team second, smiles Robin. Superboy smiles. Thanks. The sound of laughter fills the air. Robin and Superboy look up to see flying robotic monkeys. Looks like we have company, says Robin. Aqualad, Miss Martian, and Kid Flash. I am loving this mission. Think we can keep the bikes, smirked Kid. Do you think Superboy is okay? Worried Miss Martian. I didn't read his mind, but I could feel anger flowing off him. Aqualad gives a reassuring smile. Superboy knows that we are his friends. Give him time and space. If he wants to talk to us he will. This is Robin. We are under attack by flying robot monkeys, reports Robin. Laughter fills the air. Aqualad, Miss Martian, and Kid Flash look up to see flying robot monkeys. "Oh come on," says Kid. "Robot monkeys. That is so lame." "Protect Formation Alpha," orders Aqualad. "Mount Justice." Naruto stands in front of the monitor. He had tapped into the communication links of his team to find out that the shipment carrying the pieces of the android are under attack. It is an unforeseen complication. Red Tornado comes up besides him. "Are you going to help? From here it shouldn't take you long to reach their location," says the superhero. "No." Naruto folds his arms across his chest. "They will never grow if I am babysitting them all the time. This mission will show me how much they truly have grown." Red Tornado nods. "I understand." Naruto has faith that his team can handle this unforeseen disturbance. "Running off on your own is unacceptable behavior. I expect better discipline from you," says Naruto standing in front of Superboy. Superboy gives a nod. "I understand." Naruto turns to look at Robin. "You did well in finding a way to trace down the stole parts. However, your refusal to alert the League could have proven disastrous. Fortunately, Evo was unable to fully repair the android, or you all might have not have had been able to take it down. Remember, there is no shame in calling for help. Better to call for help than watch your friends and comrades die in front of you because of your silly pride." A guilty look appears in Robin's eyes. "I didn't really need to. Green Arrow was watching us the entire time." Robin pulls out an arrow. "This isn't Green Arrow's arrow." Naruto examines the arrow. Robin and Kid are filled with surprise. It seems someone else was watching the fight. Kid smirks. "Oh yeah, Speedy still has our backs." Robin and Kid bump fists. "This is not Speedy's arrow either." Naruto stares at the tip of the arrow. "It is designed to kill. Green Arrow and Speedy don't use such arrows." Speedy's style of fighting could have changed, but Naruto doubted it would change this much. "That is all for now. You are dismissed," Naruto said. "Superboy, stay behind." Kid and Robin leave the room. Superboy looks at Naruto, not understanding why he is staying behind. "I want you to dress casually tomorrow. We are going out into the city," says Naruto. "What? Why?" asks Superboy. Naruto walks past Superboy. "Meet you outside at noon." He leaves behind a confused Superboy. Next day, noon. Superboy walks outside to find Naruto waiting for him. Naruto is wearing a plain white t-shirt and baggy blue shorts with black sneakers. He glances over at Superboy, who is wearing a blue t-shirt and white pants with blue sneakers. "How is still wearing that face mask casual?" asks Superboy. "Well, I am trying to bring it back in style," replies Naruto. "Whatever. What are we doing out here?" Superboy asks. Naruto starts to walk. "We are going into town to have some fun. Come on." Superboy tilts his head. "I must have heard wrong. We are doing what? Listen, think of this as a private mission." Naruto turns to face Superboy. He pokes Superboy in the chest. "Out here we are going to call you Connor Kent. Think of it as your secret name. That way when people ask, they won't know your true identity." "I don't think so." Superboy narrows his eyes. Naruto narrows his eyes. Superboy takes a step back in fear. "If you think you can take me, then please by all means leave. If not, then I suggest you follow." He turns and starts to walk towards the city. A grumble escapes Superboy as he follows Naruto. The two make their way towards Happy Harbor. Naruto and Connor get strange looks as they walk down the sidewalk. Connor looks around. This is technically his first time out in public. A couple of girls smile and wave at him. He turns away. "It might be better if you smile and wave back," says Naruto. "Why? I don't know them," replies Connor. "Listen, if there is anyone in this world that understands you, it is me." Naruto looks ahead. "When I was 1 year old I was taken from my village and raised to be a weapon." Superboy looks at Naruto in surprise. "Unlike you, no one rescued me. I spent the next 14 years training under a man who never loved me, and I did everything he asked. Yes, I have killed men, women, and even children, all in his name. My hands are soaked in so much blood that your mind can't even comprehend it." Connor gulps. He never in his entire life would have thought Naruto-sensei as a killer. Naruto is always so calm and in control. On Santa Prista he took down Sportsmaster without seriously harming the villain. Naruto looks at Connor. Though you may have been created as a weapon, you are not a weapon. Nor are you Superman's clone. The path you choose is up to you. My honest opinion is that you have the potential to surpass Superman. If you are able to channel that anger properly. Think so, whispers Connor. I don't say things I don't mean, replies Naruto. Mount Justice. Canary and Aqualad are in the training room doing Tai Chi katas. Aqualad stumbles as he tries to move from one kata to another. Focus, smiles Canary. Tai Chi is a martial art style that is all about finding your center. One must come in touch with nature and channel its energy all around them. She waves her arm in a wide circle, exhaling a small breath. Aqualad nods. I am still a bit confused on how this will help me with my training other than improve my fighting abilities. It is because you are rigid. You need to learn how to relax and let things flow around you. Canary turns to face Aqualad. Come at me. Try your best to hit me. Aqualad runs forward, arm raised. He throws a punch, but Canary easily pushes it downward, twirling around to his back. Aqualad spins around with a kick, but she ducks down low, going under it. A rear leg sweep knocks Aqualad to his ass. Canary hovers her palm an inch over his neck. Aqualad is in surprise as he never saw the karate chop coming until too late. Did you see how I flowed around your movements? I used your own attacks against you. I easily went from defensive to offensive and from offensive to defense, smiles Canary, helping him up. This is what Naruto wants you to learn. New respect for the female hero fills him. Aqualad never even came close to hitting her. Those moves she used were the ones she had been trying to teach him. Water is the most versatile of elements, always changing to fit the situation. It is designed to go from defense to offense and from offense to defense instantly, said Naruto-sensei. He is beginning to truly understand what Naruto-sensei is trying to teach him. No offense, why are you teaching me? Asks Aqualad. Canary smirks. Naruto is indeed stronger than me in every way. However, my martial arts training is far more extensive than his. He relies on ninjutsu and superior speed to defeat his opponents. I rely on my martial arts and the training I received from my mentors to win my battles. Aqualad nods. I understand. Happy Harbor. Arcades. Watch your right. Naruto raises his gun, firing several shots. Connor smirks. Too easy. He takes down two more terrorists. A tank comes rolling up on the two. Naruto and Connor have their characters duck down behind a pair of overturned park benches. More terrorists show up with the boss standing on top of the tank. I'll take the small fries, says Naruto, releasing his foot on the pedal. His character comes up, opening fire at the terrorists. Connor comes up, firing at the boss. Bazooka. Connor gets down. Naruto opens fire at the missile, causing it to explode. Naruto smirks behind his mask. I got you covered. Others start to gather around, watching as Naruto and Connor own Time Crisis 4. Naruto doesn't even take a single hit. Connor took a couple hits, but hasn't died once. The two defeat the first stage. Oh yeah, still the best. New high score, winks Naruto. Connor smirks. A challenging glint appears in his eyes. I'll beat that in the next stage. Naruto smiles behind his mask. Think so, huh? Let's do it. Man, you two are awesome. Mad skills. An hour later, the two left the arcade. Connor gives a small smile, waving at a couple of girls. Naruto smirks behind his mask. The two head over to the food court. Naruto gets some Japanese food while Connor goes for McDonald's. I almost feel bad. No way is anyone ever going to beat our high scores, says Naruto. Connor smiles. It'll take them more than $1 to do it. Naruto smirks, though it is hidden behind his mask. Plan on giving those girls a call? Probably not, shrugs Connor. Be hard to go on a date when I am going out on missions all the time. I understand. Still, it is good to go out and let loose every now and then. Next time we get some free time we can come back out if you want, says Naruto. A nod comes from Connor. Alright, how about going over to Six Flags? I heard a couple guys in there talking about the new roller coasters. Sounds good to me, Naruto nods. Naruto is glad that Connor is enjoying the free time. Everyone needs an outlet. Robin and Kid Flash have secret identities that they use to go to school to be with other children their age. Aqualad spends time with Aquaman. Miss Martian does baking and cooking as an outlet. Superboy is the only one without an outlet to relieve his stress. Constant training and missions are not good for one's mental psyche. Orochimaru knew this, which is why he would have kunoichi or civilian girls go to Naruto's bedroom after every mission. Instead of giving Naruto friends or comrades to spend time with, Orochimaru made Naruto use sex as an outlet to relieve stress. At the age of 10, Naruto lost his virginity and began to have intimate relations regularly. Find another outlet for him. You are not going to encourage him to have sex with random girls, glared Canary. I was thinking prostitutes, replied Naruto. Canary narrowed her eyes. No. Naruto sighed. Fine, I'll take him out into the city and see if I can find something he likes. He walks away from a fuming Canary. Sex is easier. No, I am going to sign you up for boxing lessons at the local gym, says Naruto. Boxing. Connor frowns. I'll kill the other kids. Naruto nods. This will be a good way for you to learn to have better control over your powers. There will be times when you fight regular criminals with no superpowers. You'll need to learn to control that strength so you don't kill them. Plus, boxing is a style that'll suit you best. A good strong style that will go well with your desire to punch everything. Connor smirks. Okay, but don't get mad if I punch someone's face in. You'll have to learn how to act as well. Can't stand there taking punches without any effect, says Naruto. Connor groans. Or you can spar with me. I need a good punching bag. No thanks. I'll take the lessons, says Connor quickly. Naruto shrugs. Pity. Watchtower. Canary has her arms folded across her chest. He isn't going to like this. Green Arrow raises an eyebrow. It doesn't matter what he likes or doesn't like. She is safer with the team and perhaps we can lead her down a different path. I don't like it either, but Arrow makes a good point. Leaving her alone will guarantee she becomes a threat in the future, says Batman. I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I am saying that he isn't going to like it at all. Whether he admits it or not, he has become attached to those kids. He sees them as his students. You're intentionally putting them at risk. Pray he doesn't kick both your asses too badly, says Canary seriously. Batman begins to walk away. He will do as asked. Green Arrow gives a reassuring smile before walking away. Canary shakes her head at the two fools. Batman and Green Arrow are becoming much too arrogant. She respects their abilities and what they have done over the years, but they are fools if they think Naruto will do whatever they ask. A sigh escapes her as she knew she has to speak to him before they do. That is the only way to prevent a bloodbath. Mount Justice. Megan watches as Naruto and Superboy enter the base. Her eyes fill with surprise as Superboy has a genuine smile on his face. Lessons start tomorrow, be ready to go at 9, says Naruto. Yeah. Superboy waves as he walks away. If you don't mind me asking, where did the two of you go? Asks Megan flying over to Superboy. Superboy shrugs. We were hanging out. He walks off. Megan tilts her head. What does that mean? Naruto walks over to the monitor. His fingers fly over the console checking to see if he has any messages from the League. It is the only thing he knows how to do with the supercomputer. The sound of footsteps makes him turn his head. He turns to see Batman, Green Arrow, and Canary. Batman approaches Naruto. We have a new member that we are adding to the team. She is Green Arrow's new protege. My team. I'll determine whether or not she joins, replies Naruto. Green Arrow frowns. This is not open for debate. I was offered to train the team at my discretion. All changes are to be run through me. Canary smirks. I told you he wouldn't like it. The League has already agreed to add her to the team. Batman narrows his eyes. She will be joining the team. Naruto steps forward. Careful who you give orders to. Be a shame if the identities of the entire League are leaked to the public. Might hurt business at Wayne Industries. Batman tenses. Is that a threat? Canary steps between the two. Back off. Naruto, take the girl. She needs someone to guide her down the right path. Right now, she has the wrong role model to follow. She needs a new one or she'll take the wrong path. Naruto stares into Canary's eyes. He then looks over at Batman and Green Arrow. If she passes my test then she can join. And don't bother arguing. I know everything about the League. You can't force me to leave without trying to wipe my mind first. I dare you to try. He turns around walking away. Can we trust him? Says Green Arrow. Idiots. Just had to try and be tough. I am beginning to think you two aren't that smart, scowls Canary brushing past the two. Batman looks down to see a seal on his chest. He keeps his surprise hidden well. Green Arrow doesn't even notice the seal. When did Naruto put it there? Next day, Robin arrives first to find Naruto waiting for him. Batman and Green Arrow are in the room as well. His eyes landed upon a cute blonde wearing a green spandex suit with the symbol of Green Arrow and a bow on her back. He sends a look to Naruto. New member? Asks Robin. Probationary member. I'll decide whether or not she stays after the mission, says Naruto. The girl narrows her eyes. Since when do you get to make that decision? Robin smirks. Sensei is the leader of the team. He calls the shots. Batman frowns. She will be joining the team. Naruto glances at Batman. I'll make that decision. Aqualad, Superboy, and Miss Martian show up. The three look over at the blonde then at Naruto for an explanation. Batman doesn't like how instantly all the young heroes including his own protege are looking at Naruto for the answers. He is supposed to be the senior member of the team that the others look to. Naruto glances at Batman with a victorious look in his eyes. Identification B06, Kid Flash. The wall man is here. Time to get this party start. Wally tripped and fell face forward. The beach ball bounced past Batman and Green Arrow who held the same emotionless expression. Ed, finished Wally. Mission, beach plans got cancelled, smirks Robin. A smirk appeared on Blonde's face. Wall man huh, I love your costume, she teases. Wally smiled. Who is this? He gestures to the girl, but looks at his team. Artemis, the newest member of the team, answered Artemis. Kid Flash, never heard of you, smirked Wally. Kid frowns. What happened to Speedy? Identification recognized. B07 Speedy. Well, first thing is I no longer go by Speedy. Call me Red Arrow, said Red Arrow. Green Arrow has a look of surprise. Roy, you look replaceable, finished Red Arrow as he walks forward. It's not like that. You told me you were going solo, said Arrow. So why waste time looking for a replacement? Red has an angry look in his eyes. Does she even know how to use that bow? Artemis sends an annoyed look. Yes, she does. Who are you? Yelled Kid. I'm his niece. She's my niece, answered Artemis and Arrow at the same time. Naruto remains emotionless. He can tell that the two of them are lying. It annoys him because now he knows that he can't trust Artemis. Batman and Green Arrow aren't telling him the whole story. Robin smirks. Another niece. She is not your replacement. We have always wanted you on the team. And we have no quota on archers, said Aqualad. And if we did, you know who we would pick, said Kid. Artemis scowled. Whatever Baywatch, I'm here to stay. Red Arrow turns away and goes to leave, but Aqualad places a hand on his shoulders. You came to us for a reason, said Aqualad. Yeah, a reason known as Dr. Roland Roquette, said Red. Robin's eyes lit up with recognition. Nanotech technology genius who worked at Miami University and Star Labs. She disappeared 2 weeks ago. Multiple images appear staring with an image of the pretty professor. Abducted 2 weeks ago, corrected Red Arrow. By the League of Shadows. Whoa, you want us to rescue her from the shadows? Smirks Robin. Hardcore, said Kid bumping fists with Robin. I already rescued her, said Red. Only one problem. The League of Shadow forced her to create a device known as the Fog. It is a nanotech infiltrator that has the ability to eat through anything. Concrete, steel, flesh, and bones. The true power of the Fog is to eat and store raw data. Download the millions of data, then deliver it to the shadows, providing them with weapons, new technology, and cutting-edge science. Extortion, bribery, embezzling. Yeah, it sounds like the shadows, said Artemis. Yeah, like you know anything about the shadows, scoffed Kid. Artemis gives a smirk that suggests otherwise. Who are you? Roquette is working on a virus that will disable the Fog, said Red. If the shadows know she can do that, started Robin. They will do whatever possible to silence her. She is safe now. I have stashed her at the local high school computer lab, said Red. Green Arrow frowns. You left her alone. She is safe. Then let's you and I keep her that way, says Green. You and I. Don't you want to take your new protege, said Red. Batman places on hand on Green Arrow's shoulder to stop any further argument. Green Arrow calms down. You brought this to the team. That means it is their mission. Meaning it is her mission as well, said Arrow. Red scowled. I am out of here. Red Arrow walks over to the portal and vanishes. Naruto stands up straight. Robin, Miss Martian, and Superboy get to the high school and do a perimeter sweep. Aqualad and Kid, get inside the school and protect the target. Roger. The team moves out. Artemis steps forward. I am a part of this team now as well. You're with me. Is that a problem? Naruto glances at Artemis. A wave of killing intent strikes her. Artemis begins to tremble in fear. She shakes her head. Good. Happy Harbor High School. Right. Can everyone hear me? Rang Miss Martian's voice. Artemis winces at the volume in her head. This is weird. And distracting, said Roquette. Coding an algorithm virus on a kiddie computer with less RAMs than a wristwatch is hard enough. Now I have to listen to the thoughts of a bunch of kids. Roquette grabs her head in annoyance. Kid sat on a table munching on a chocolate bar. Lady, do you always complain to those who are trying to protect you? Hot meat kettle, said Artemis. Miss Martian cut the mental link with Dr. Roquette. She needs to focus on the task at hand. Naruto glances at Kid. He shuts up instantly. His eyes then turn to look at Artemis. Be quiet, orders Naruto. Artemis gulps. Dr. Roquette no longer hears the voices in her head. Thanks. Naruto leans forward. There is nothing to fear. My team will protect you. Do you have a way to track the fog? She relaxes, feeling much safer. Yes. I'll have to go online, which means they'll be able to track me, answers Dr. Roquette. She blushes at how close he is to her. He is quite handsome. Good thing the others can't hear her thoughts. Robin, I am sending you with Superboy, Miss Martian, and Kid Flash. I want the four of you to hunt down that virus. Destroy or capture it. I'll leave the call to you, says Naruto. Track it, orders Naruto. Dr. Roquette nods, going online. Philadelphia. Professor Ojo gets a message from his computer. His fingers fly over the console, pulling up an image of the sensei. What is the news? Asked Sensei. Professor Roquette has tracked us, but that is a two-way street. She has revealed her location, said Professor Ojo. He instantly tracks her location. Sending coordinates. Sensei takes a look at the coordinates. Who do we have near? Happy Harbor, Rhode Island. Happy Harbor. Cheshire stares at the building where Professor Roquette is hiding. A high school. What a stupid choice to hide someone. There are so many entry points. She glances over at the guards. A smirk appears on her face behind the mask as she spots a familiar face. Artemis walks around scanning the perimeter. Aqualad is on the other side searching the perimeter. A hissing sound makes Cheshire look down. 3 snakes slither right towards her. She quickly dives out of the bushes, revealing her presence. The snakes vanish in clouds of smoke. Not very good at hiding, are you? Artemis fires 2 arrows. Cheshire draws her sai, slashing through the arrows. Need to work on your aim, laughed Cheshire. Artemis fires several more arrows, but Cheshire cuts them on down before delivering a high kick to Artemis's face. Aqualad charges forward with a pair of water swords. Cheshire raises her sai, blocking the swords. Aqualad uses his superior strength to push her backwards. She flips backwards, kicking him in the chin. Cheshire tosses several shuriken at Aqualad. Aqualad's swords change into a protective water shield that deflects the shuriken. Nice move. Looks like you are a bit better than the other one, smirks Cheshire behind her mask. Artemis, we don't need to defeat her. Our mission is to protect Dr. Roquette, says Aqualad. Artemis narrows her eyes. Yeah, but it'll be so much sweeter to capture her. 2-on-1 hardly seems like fair odds. It does sound fun. Cheshire runs towards Aqualad. Artemis fires 3 arrows. Cheshire moves to the side, tossing shuriken at Artemis. Aqualad creates a pair of whips, attacking Cheshire from a safe distance. Snakes burst out of the ground, wrapping around Cheshire. Cheshire screams in pain as the snakes sink their fangs into her body. Artemis, Aqualad, fall back to Dr. Roquette, orders Naruto, stepping out of the shadows. Aqualad runs inside. Artemis glances at Cheshire, then follows Aqualad. The snakes disappear in identical clouds of smoke. Cheshire collapses to her knees, blood dripping down her arms and legs. I suggest not trying to escape. Moving around will only cause the poison to speed up, says Naruto. This isn't over. Even if you capture me, the shadows will not stop. Cheshire's mask falls away to reveal the face of a pretty woman with shaggy black hair. A smirk graces her beautiful face. Nothing can stop the shadows. He kneels down to look Cheshire in the eyes. Shadows, huh? That's cute. I look forward to meeting the other assassins. Maybe one of them can give me a challenge. He stands up as Cheshire falls face forward, eyes rolling up into her head. Naruto doesn't bother to give her the antidote. The poison isn't going to kill her. Wayne technology. Miss Martian pilots the ship towards Gotham City. I hope we don't arrive too late. Yes, she finished uploading the virus. Robin smirks as he pulls out a disk, then tosses it to Kid. Get inside Wayne Tech and download that virus. Superboy, see if you can find the one with the virus. Kid smirks. Too easy. The ship flies right towards Wayne Tech. Superboy spots a van outside the building. The doors open up and a man dresses in red and black with a metallic visor is inside holding a metal tube. Found him. Superboy jumps down towards the van. Professor Ojo looks up, spotting Superboy. The professor fires a powerful blast from his visor. It strikes Superboy, knocking him to the ground. Ojo releases the fog. Robin glances at Kid. Go. Gone. Kid touches down on the ground and takes off, running inside Wayne Tech. The black blur easily makes it inside past security and to the upper levels. Kid finds one of the many supercomputers. I need the code to enter the main systems. Link in and I'll give it to you, says Robin. Superboy stands up and stares at Professor Ojo. Professor Ojo fires another beam. Superboy raises his arms, walking right through the beam. He reaches out with his hand, grabbing the visor and crushing it. The small explosion blasts Professor Ojo backwards, where he collapses to the ground unconscious. Miss Martian smiles as the fog disintegrates. Yes, we did it. Robin walks over to Superboy. I think that classifies as mission accomplished. Superboy smirks. Mount Justice. Artemis folds her arms across her chest. So do I make the cut? Naruto glances at Robin and Aqualad. Miss Martian, Superboy, and Kid Flash are also there. I'll leave the decision up to them. Personally, I find your skills average and you are hot-tempered. Arguing with a teammate while on a mission is foolish and is an unnecessary distraction. Then again, I do have a student who constantly flirts during missions and he is still able to do his duty, says Naruto. Kid smiles sheepishly. Aqualad looks at Robin. I believe she can be an asset and has proven we can trust her to have our backs. Robin smirks. He steps forward, holding out his hand. Welcome to the team. Thanks, smiles Artemis. She shakes Robin's hand. I have always wanted a sister on Earth, smiles Miss Martian. It is good to have you. Aqualad holds his hand. Naruto leaves to let the team get to officially meet the newest member of the team. He fades away into the shadows. Gotham City. Artemis teleports inside of a phone booth. She walks outside and hears a sound. On instinct she spins around, drawing bow and arrow, then raises it at the shadows. Step out into the light, ordered Artemis. A figure came walking out of the shadows. It revealed itself to be Red Arrow. That was good, almost had me believing that you are Green Arrow's niece. But we both know you're not, said Red Arrow. Artemis narrows her eyes. I am sure Batman and Green Arrow have a reason for keeping your true identity secret. So don't worry, your secret is safe, said Red Arrow. He leans forward with a hard look in his eyes. But I warn you, don't hurt my friends. With that warning he turns his back and leaves. Artemis looks away with guilty eyes. League of Shadows. Sensei sits in a meditative posture. Around him are monitors with several beings made of light on each one. Report, spoke a voice. Professor Ojo managed to send the Star Labs data before being captured. Unfortunately, we were unable to get our hands on the Wayne Tech data, reported Sensei. Those young team of heroes interfered, so it is fortunate that we have an operative on the inside, said the voice. A smirk appears on Sensei's face. Roquette moans. A smile appears on her face as she slowly opens her eyes. The smell of bacon and eggs fills her nostrils. She sits up in bed and finds it empty. With a small yawn, she stands up, letting the blankets drop. Naruto sits in the kitchen eating breakfast. He hears the sounds of footsteps and looks up to see Roquette walking towards him wearing oversized t-shirt and a pair of black bikini-style panties. She smiles at him before taking a seat across from him. "So you can cook on top of fighting crime," smirks Roquette. "I prefer Asian cuisine, but I can cook a few American meals," says Naruto. "Is this a one-time thing?" asks Roquette nervously. The sex last night had been amazing. She had only been with a few other men, but Naruto blew them out of the water. His stamina, endurance, and overall skill are incredible. Plus he is very well endowed. He looks up. "I can't really afford relationships in my line of work. If you ever want to do it again, give me a call, but other than I am afraid this is all I can offer," Naruto says honestly. Roquette smiles. "Good. As amazing as last night was, I need to get back to my work. If you stay then no way I get any work done." Naruto smirks behind his mask. He has to admit, he does like her straightforwardness. Those who are straightforward and don't tiptoe around the truth are the people he likes to be around. Break. Superboy raises his arms blocking a pair of punches. He then throws 3 quick jabs. Aqualad manages to dodge the jabs and creates some distance between the two of them. The two start to circle each other. A smirk appears on Superboy's face. Those boxing lessons are really paying off. Much better than the learning karate or jujitsu in his opinion. "You know, Aqualad is handsome, strong, and a great leader. I think you should totally ask him out," said Artemis looking at Megan. Megan smiles. "Calder. He is like an older brother. You know who would make a cute couple." Naruto appears in a swirl of leaves. The training room begins to change into the usual forest. A night sky fills the sky with a dozen or so stars. "Team training," says Naruto. "What? You got to be kidding me, I am not prepared for training," says Artemis. She turns to look at the others. Surprise fills her as Miss Martian's clothes turn to her usual uniform for mission. Aqualad picks up his water bearer from the floor. Kid is suddenly wearing his own uniform. "Seriously, you all knew about this and didn't tell me?" Kid smirks. "Sensei is always pulling out surprise training sessions." Aqualad nods. "We have learned to always come down here prepared. Sometimes you'll be caught by surprise and need to work with what you have." "Looks like you'll be working without your bow," says Naruto. "Oh come on." Naruto's eyes narrow. Artemis falls silent. "I didn't know. That is the point of the surprise training sessions. Kid, we'll do a warm-up session, you're the prey." "Yes. Try to catch me if you can," smirks Kid before taking off running. Aqualad team leader since Robin is gone. "I'll give you 30 missions to capture Kid using Superboy, Miss Martian, and Artemis as your team members," says Naruto. He vanishes into the trees to watch the simulation. It is time to test Aqualad's leadership abilities and Artemis's ability to adapt to an unknown situation. Break. Aqualad leaves the training room more exhausted than usual. He leans against the wall needing to take a break. Taking a deep breath, he pushes from the wall and turns to come face to face with Naruto. Naruto leans against the wall with a calm look in his eyes. "Want to tell me what is wrong?" asks Naruto. "I am fine, just a little exhausted is all," reassures Aqualad. Naruto gives a nod. "Come to me when you are ready to talk." He begins to walk away. "Wait." Aqualad looks down at the floor. Naruto turns to face his student. "There is something. Lately, my mind is on the surface but my heart is in the ocean down below. I used to dream of coming up here, but now that I am here I only want to be there," said Aqualad. Naruto folds his arms across his chest. This poses a problem because when you are here, I need you focused 100% on the task at hand." Aqualad stands quietly. "Meet me tomorrow at noon for a private mission. It will determine your fate with the team." Naruto walks off leaving Aqualad alone with his thoughts. Training room. Artemis arrives wearing her full gear. Naruto sits on a boulder reading his book. He looks up from his book. "Good. It is time to test the full extent of your abilities," says Naruto. "A private test. Listen, if you don't like me fine. But if you think I am going to quit the team then forget it. I'll pass whatever test you throw at me," glares Artemis. Naruto flips the page in his book. "Quit the team. If I wanted you gone then you would be gone. I have no fear of Batman or Green Arrow. Let them threaten me all they want. I assure you I can handle them. No, this is a test for you alone because I want to see your true abilities. The room began to change to the usual training room with no holographic images. A snap of the fingers and the room began pitch dark. A red light appears from above. Artemis tenses. This test will test your reflexes and reaction speed. Hit the targets, as many as you can. Oh, be careful not to harm the civilians and watch out for flying objects. The room goes pitch black. A flashing blue light appears. Artemis spots a pair of targets and fires 2 arrows. She never knew if they hit as the room went pitch black again. The lights began to flash rapidly. Multiple targets begin to appear all over the room. She does her best to keep up. One more target pops up and she fires an arrow. The lights turn on. Fail. Artemis jumps as Naruto stands behind her. He points at the target. She looks to see it is the picture of a civilian woman with an arrow through her head. Again, Naruto fades into the darkness that surrounds Artemis. Artemis watches closely, making sure not to hit the civilians. A pink light comes on and a kunai comes out of the shadows. It slices across her cheek. Fail. Naruto stands behind her again. This is impossible, glares Artemis. Again. An hour passes. Artemis falls to her knees, sweat dropping down her brow. Small cuts litter her arms and legs. A crunching sound makes her look up. The lights are on and Naruto is sitting across from her eating an apple. Fail. You're a bastard, Artemis pants. Naruto shakes his head. Poor women and children. I think you killed 8 of them altogether. Those poor pieces of cardboard never got a chance to live their lives. I'll have to hold a funeral for them. Artemis's lips twitch. She then starts to laugh. What is wrong with you? She falls backwards onto her ass. Naruto tosses an apple to her. A grateful look appears in her eyes. In life, you face obstacles and choices that seem impossible. We either let them beat us down or we make the impossible possible. Though you failed each time, you never once gave up. That is what I truly wanted to see. So congratulations, you pass, says Naruto. A light blush heats Artemis's cheeks. Thanks. Naruto nods. Feel free to call me sensei. I prefer torturer. I can live with that. Next day. Naruto waits patiently for Aqualad to show up. Aqualad shows up right on time. He walks over to Naruto, who is standing in front of the Zeta Beam portal. A curious look appears in Aqualad's eyes. Atlantis has found a giant starfish of some variety. Justice League wants a sample of this starfish, so I volunteered to go get it. You'll be coming with me to act as my guide. I take it you don't have a problem with this. Aqualad smiles. No, sensei. Good. Naruto activates the portal. The two vanish. Atlantis. In a beam of light, Aqualad and Hubby appear underwater. Aquaman immediately greets the two. Welcome back to Atlantis, Kaldoraham. I welcome you as well, Hubby, greets Aquaman. Aqualad raises his arm in a salute. Greetings, King Orin. The whole city is underwater, says Hubby, surprising Aqualad and Aquaman. You are able to speak underwater, says Aqualad. Hubby nods. I can breathe as well. It is a special ability of mine. Samahata is the one responsible. Under his mask, the sword is using its chakra to give him a set of gills where he can breathe underwater, allowing him to talk. He truly does love this sword. So glad that it had been transported with him to this new world. Aquaman smiles. This is a pleasant surprise. If you don't mind, I would like to speak to Calder for a moment. Hubby nods. Aquaman and Aqualad swim ahead, speaking in their native language. Hubby swims off on his own to get a better view of the city. The city of Atlantis. Well, the capital city of Atlantis, Poseidones. Atlantis is the entire nation of the underwater cities. It is a magnificent city. Hubby has heard stories of Atlantis, but has never seen it with his own eyes. The stories do not do the place justice. He can see now why Aqualad misses his home so much. Aqualad swims over to Hubby. Forgive me, sensei. I know we have a mission, but I am wondering if I may take some time to visit a few friends that I have not seen in a while. Hubby glances at Aqualad. Friends, huh? Show me where the science dome is and I will leave you to visit your friends. Aqualad smiles gratefully. Sector 4. Hubby swims through the water at a moderate pace. He is already under suspicion for being able to breathe and talk underwater. No point in showing that he is extremely fast underwater as well. The Science Center is a large dome that reminds him of a small-scaled football stadium. A pair of guards raises their weapons as he approaches. "I am Hubby of the Justice League. I have come to see the new specimen found," says Hubby. A handsome young man swims forward. "I am Prince Orm. We have been awaiting your arrival." "A pleasure to meet you," bows Hubby respectfully. "I am afraid that no unauthorized weapons are allowed," says Prince Orm looking at Samahata. Hubby shakes his head. "Samahata is a very special sword. It is bonded to me. The sword is how I am able to breathe and speak underwater." Prince Orm gains a suspicious look but nods. "Very well. I will have to warn you that any attempt to go for your sword we will take it as hostile action. My security will not hesitate to eliminate any threats." "I understand. Follow me." Prince Orm watches as Hubby easily keeps his pace. That is impressive for a surface dweller. The two enter the main room that contains the giant starfish frozen solid in a block of ice. An old man in a red bodysuit swims over to the two. "Prince Orm, I did not expect to see you so soon," smiles the scientist. "We have a visitor from the Justice League. Please tell him what you have learned of the creature," said Prince Orm. "Yes." The scientist gestures to the creature. The three swim over to it. It is disturbing to say the least. The creature is frozen, has been for millennia, and yet somehow it still lives. We have even detected brainwaves. Needless to say, it has become our top priority. Hubby floats in front of the starfish. "This creature is more dangerous than you realize." Prince Orm raises an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "It is a feeling I have and I always trust my instincts." Hubby stares at the creature. Samahata pulses. "This creature is very dangerous." Mount Justice. Robin types furiously, pulling up the reports of the previous missions. As the leader of the team, it is his duty to go over what went right and, more important, find out what went wrong and make sure it doesn't happen a second time. Even when a mission goes well, it is always good to look it over a second time to figure out what you can do better. Perfection is never obtained, only sought after. Those who claim perfection are allowing arrogance to blind them. "Arrogance leads to death," said Naruto. A smirk appears on Robin's face as he starts to think of several new strategies. He pulls up the individual abilities of each team member and begins to assemble a new team formation. Atlantis. Calder and Tulu swim away from the palace. The two finished having dinner with the Queen, Prince Orm, and King Orin. Aquaman was called away to help with a problem in Tokyo Bay. "I wanted." Calder, Tulu spoke at the same time. Tulu blushes. "Calder, there is something. Please Tula, I have come to decision." Calder grabs her hands. "I have decided to stay in Atlantis with you, because of you." Tula pulls away, turning her back to him. "We wanted to tell you earlier. Garth and I, we are together." She turns to face him. Pain fills Calder's eyes. She is about to say more, but an explosion goes off. A building crumbles before their eyes. More explosions go off all around the city. Calder and Tula watch in horror. Break. Hubby swings Samahata, taking out 3 attackers. He glances around, noticing that all the explosions occur away from the sector containing the Science Center. That means the attackers are after the giant starfish and all the explosions are a distraction. First priority, he needs to check on the palace to make sure that Aquaman and the Queen are safe. Then he will go for the starfish. Atlantis Palace. This is a precision attack. "The first explosion drew away our forces, leaving the palace unguarded," says Aqualad, swinging his swords. He slices through a pair of guns, then spins around, slamming a water mace into the face of an attacker before kicking another. Tula's arms glow. She launches a ball of magic that gets between 3 attackers, then explodes. The blast takes out the attackers. "Protect the Queen," orders Prince Orm, firing several shots with his plasma rifle. Queen Mira creates 2 magical shields that absorb the fire. She then raises her arms, unleashing purple tentacles of magic that swim towards the attackers, wrapping them up. The attackers scream in pain as they are electrocuted. Tula. Garth swims towards the group. Tula's eyes widen as she spots an attacker behind Garth. She swims towards him. Garth. She grabs Garth, moving him to the side as the attacker fires. A speeding blue blur wraps around Garth and Tula. The shot hits the skin of the object, doing no damage. Prince Orm, Aqualad, and Queen Mira are surprised to see a 20-foot-long blue snake. "Sensei," smiles Aqualad. Hubby stands on the head of the snake. He brings his hands together, flashing through hand seals. Water release. 5 feeding sharks. 5 large sharks made of water burst forth, swimming at the attackers. These attacks are a distraction. The real target is the starfish at the science center, says Hubby. The snake shoots through the water, appearing next to the queen, protecting her from incoming fire. Aqualad narrows his eyes. We cannot let them have it. We'll go ahead and take care of it, said Hubby. We are coming to, says Tula. No. Tula and Garth are in surprise at Aqualad's tone of voice. I am sorry, my friends, but you will only get in our ways. We will handle this. Your duty is to protect the queen, says Aqualad. Hubby nods. The two swim through the water at high speeds. Science Center. Aqualad and Hubby easily take out the attackers guarding the entrance to the Science Center. Hubby turns his head to see Garth and Tula. I told you to protect the queen, says Aqualad. Prince Orm protects the queen. She sent us to help you, said Garth. Hubby swims ahead. No time to argue. Aqualad follows with Garth and Tula coming up besides them. The 4 swim through the center. Garth and Tula unknowingly start to swim ahead as Hubby and Aqualad fall back. What is the plan? Asks Garth. No reply. Tula turns around. Calder. Intruders. Tula and Garth turn to see a pair of attackers. Aqualad comes up behind the attackers and easily takes them out. Another pair comes from the right. Hubby takes care of those attackers. Aqualad notices his friends looking at him in surprise. I too have my studies. Hubby pauses. Up ahead. Break off into 2 teams. I'll go ahead, drawing their attention. The 3 of you take down as many as you can while they're distracted by me. Make sure that the starfish isn't taken. Break. Black Manta raises his arm. Phase 3 complete. Begin Phase 4. Ah. Black Manta looks down to see an intruder. Hubby swings Samahata, taking out 2 more attackers. Hubby raises Samahata in front of him protectively to absorb the fire coming at him. Get him, orders Black Manta. Aqualad comes through with a pair of water maxes that he uses to smash 3 attackers. Tula and Garth use their magic to blast more of the attackers. Black Manta takes aim at Garth and opens fire. Aqualad gets in front of Garth, creating a shield of water that absorbs the blast. Aqualad, still wasting your time with Aquaman. Aren't there enough people willing to die for their king? Black Manta fires several more shots, forcing Garth and Aqualad to take cover. Tula raises her arms. Ah. She fires a ball of magic that takes out another 2 attackers. Hubby looks up to see the ceiling melt away. A ship above the science center drops a grappling hook. Protect the starfish. Black Manta goes to intercept Aqualad, but Hubby appears in front of him. Hubby swings Samahata, missing Black Manta, who swims away at high speeds. I summon the power of the Tempest. Garth unleashes a powerful tornado of magic that takes out the last of the attackers. Aqualad cuts the grappling hook line. It's over, says Aqualad, facing Black Manta. If I can't have it, then no one can. Black Manta fires a pair of miniature missiles from his back. The missiles strike the creature, causing a large explosion. Aqualad creates a bubble of water to shield himself, Garth, and Tula. Hubby watches as Black Manta escapes. Aqualad swims next to Hubby. Forgive me, Sensei. I should have made a shield to block those missiles. Hubby shakes his head. Though I don't have much knowledge on the subject, you made the right choice protecting your friends. He didn't say that he purposely let Black Manta destroy the starfish. He could have stopped those missiles. The creature is too dangerous to leave alive. Break. Aquaman holds out his hand to Hubby. It seems I owe you a great debt of gratitude. Though our city has been heavily damaged and many are injured, it could have been far worse. He glances at his wife Mira. Thank you. Hubby shakes Aquaman's hands. You're welcome. Prince Orm steps forward, holding a small tube with a piece of the starfish in it. This is all we managed to find. It is already beginning to regenerate. Unfortunately, with the dome compromised and the city in chaos, we will be unable to safely conduct our research. Perhaps the surface world can do better, says the prince. I am sure they will be eager to try, nods Aquaman. Hubby takes the starfish, putting it in his pouch. Aqualad stands in front of Tula and Garth. Calder. I wish you two all the happiness in the world, smiles Calder. Tula comes forward, pulling him into a hug. He releases her, then shakes hands with Garth. Calder turns to see hubby waiting for him. Garth, have you ever wondered what would have happened if you became Aqualad and I stayed at the conservatory? Garth smiles. Never. Me either, smirks Calder. Calder and hubby teleport away. A groan escapes Naruto. He wakes up to find that he is face first in a pile of sand. That pile of sand turns into a large desert as far as the eye can see. Naruto's eyes fill with confusion. The last place he remembers being is in New York City. What the hell is he doing in a desert? Samahata growls. Memory loss. Naruto stands up, patting down his pants. I fucking hate sand. It gets everywhere. Naruto glances at Samahata. And you should have protected me from that mental attack. A grumble comes from the sword. Huh, I willingly opened my mind. Shit, that is a mistake I won't be making again. Ah. Naruto looks up to see a boy falling down towards him. The boy resembles Superman and even wearing the same S-shield upon the front of his shirt. He forms a set of hand seals. Superboy boy slams into Naruto feet first. Sand explodes upward like a grenade explosion. The sand falls away to reveal Superboy trapped in a sphere of water. Water style. Water prison. Naruto is keeping the sphere stable with a single hand. Samahata begs to be unwrapped so that it can devour Superboy as a snack. Naruto stares at Superboy, who is slowly beginning to drown. This is a very useful technique. The reason that Hunter Ninja destroy the bodies of missing ninja is because they do not want the missing ninja's body to fall into enemy hands. Each village has its own way of examining the body to learn its secrets. A ninja's body contains many secrets, mainly techniques of the village that it is from. Orochimaru has the Edo Tensei technique that revives the dead. It is how Naruto can perform Kisami's techniques. Orochimaru regularly uses the technique on high-level ninja, forcing them to give him all their secrets before sending them back to the grave. Kisame is another ninja that had been brought back from the dead, forced to give Orochimaru all his secrets. That is how Orochimaru knows so much about Akatsuki. Naruto is like Orochimaru in that he loves learning new techniques. Orochimaru had no problem with him learning the techniques of Kisame. So he used his shadow clones to quickly learn most of Kisami's techniques. At least until his sacrifice to prevent Akatsuki getting their hands on the Kyuubi. This is one of his favorite techniques. An inescapable prism of water. You look familiar. Naruto stares at Superboy. Samahata says, I know you. Guess you get to live. He forms hand seals with one hand. Lightning release. 1000 volts. Lightning flows through Naruto's body into the sphere of water, electrocuting Superboy. Superboy's screams are unheard before his eyes rolls up into his head. The water splashes down upon the sand along with a thud. Sorry kid, but I got better things to do than drag you around. If we know each other, then you know that I am not a team player. I prefer to work alone. Naruto waves as he walks away. Break. Robin walks around in a daze. He leans against a large boulder. Where am I? I better contact Batman. His hand goes up to his communication link. Batman stood in front of a monitor. Keep radio silence at all times. Or not, said Robin. A sound of a vehicle reaches his ears. He quickly hides. Soon enough a jeep comes riding by with several soldiers in it with automatic weapons. Robin frowns as he recognizes those uniforms. Those are Belia Special Force soldiers. What are they doing here in Belia? Robin has a look of surprise as he stares at the holographic map he had brought up. He frowned. Okay, what am I doing in Belia? September. What the heck happened to March? Elsewhere. Hey, you okay? Said a voice. A groan comes from Artemis as she opens her eyes. She stares up into the face of a cute boy wearing a skin-tight suit. Huh, who are you? Artemis rubs her head. Is this another stupid test that my father set up? No idea. Name is Kid Flash. Heard of me? Smirked Kid. Artemis frowned. Kid Flash, you're a hero, but I thought you wore a yellow and red suit. Kid shrugged. I still don't know all the details myself. How about you? Got a Green Arrow crush? Ah, what am I wearing? Gasped Artemis. Hey, do you know how to use that thing? Asked Kid, pointing at her bow. Yeah, my father taught me. Dad, this is one of his stupid tests. He probably wants me to kill you. Kid pales a bit. Artemis brushes past him and leaves the hut. He goes to say something, but stops when a whistling sound fills the air. The two jump as an explosion occurs several feet from them. Both spin around to see a pair of tanks heading straight towards them. It fires several more shells at them. Artemis draws her impact arrow and fires it. It flies true, striking the tank, then exploding. No damage is done to the tank. The hut they had been staying in explodes in a shower of debris. Kid picks up Artemis bridal style, then takes off running at high speeds. Sorry, but their arrows are bigger than yours. Artemis has a light blush, as no boy has ever been this intimate with her. And if any had ever tried to get this close, her father will kill them. Thanks, said Artemis. No problem. I told you I am a good guy. By the way, what is your name? And what is this about you wanting to kill me? Smiled Kid. Delia. Miss Martian slowly opened her eyes. She raised a hand to her aching head. Her eyes looked up at a glowing white moon. A confused look appeared in her eyes as she grabbed the ground and found it to be sand. Where am I? Wondered Miss Martian. She looked down at her clothes. She is wearing a skin-tight black and red suit with a blue cape. What is with my clothes? Hello Megan. I must be on Earth, smiled Miss Martian. More confusion fills the young Martian. How did I get on Earth? I can't believe I am on Earth. I have dreamed of coming here, but it is a bit different from the way I saw it on television, smiled Megan. She flies through the air. She hovers down, crossing her legs Indian style. The girl is floating in the air in a meditative stance. Why can I remember anything? Miss Martian closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. Concentrate. Remember. Careful Superboy, they are hot. Superboy goes to grab a cookie, but Kid speeds by him, grabbing it. Not as hot as you, smirked Kid, munching down on the cookie. Superboy shakes his head as he grabs a cookie. Thanks, that's sweet, replied Megan. Kid smirked. Not as sweet as you. Artemis slaps Kid upside the head. Give it a break. We have a mission. Let's go, said Naruto, entering the room briefly. I'm on a team. I have friends. And a Superboy who wait. I have to find the others. That is what he told me to do, said Megan. She opens up her mind and calls out telepathically to the others. Hello, team, are you there? Maybe they are out of my range, thought Megan. Stop mentally shouting in my head. Miss Martian turns to see Naruto glaring at her. He winces a bit. I don't like having people in my head. Miss Martian smiles widely. Sensei. Naruto tilts his head. Sensei. Must have me confused. I don't have any students. I highly doubt the niece of the Martian Manhunter is my student. I don't really get along with the Manhunter. Really? You don't get along with Uncle Jean? Blinks Miss Martian. There are very few people I get along with, corrects Naruto. He walks past Miss Martian. Samahata pulses. Wait Sensei. Miss Martian flies in front of him. Naruto gains an annoyed look as the girl is about the same height as him. One would think, having been pumped full of physical enhancement drugs, he might be a bit taller. Please, you have to believe me. I am part of a team of young heroes and you are our sensei. He stares into her eyes. The girl is a really good liar, or she is telling the truth. Samahata seems to recognizes her, so there is a chance she is telling the truth. A sigh escapes him. Naruto scratches the back of his head. He is the sensei of a group of young heroes. He must have been really bored when he agreed to do that. Or Canary tricked him into it. All right, say I believe you. Where is the rest of our team? Asks Naruto. Well, there is Robin. Robin, Batman's sidekick. Naruto walks off waving his hand. Batman trusts me to train his sidekick. I don't think so. You must be mentally impaired. Sensei. The name is Naruto. Leave me alone. I don't like annoying people or crazy ones. You are becoming both. Naruto vanishes in a swirl of sand. Break. Kid comes to a stop, panting heavily. I am running low on energy. He opens the hidden compartment on his arm. It is empty. Empty. It must have been more than 24 hours or I wouldn't have ate my emergency storage. So what? An object lands between the two. The blast knocks them both backwards. Kid and Artemis spot a boy around the same age as them. Superboy backhands Kid into a rock. Artemis flips backwards, drawing her bow. She draws an impact arrow, firing it at point blank at Superboy. It strikes Superboy and explodes, but he keeps charging towards her. She fires 2 more arrows with the same effect. Superboy rears back his fist. A loud sound of fire makes Superboy pause. The ground next to Superboy and Artemis explodes. The two look to see a pair of tanks coming at them. Ah! Superboy yells as he jumps high into the air towards the tanks. Kid rubs his head. That hurt. He stands up and looks over at Artemis. His head then turns to see that strange kid destroying the tanks. Whose side is he on? I don't know, but let's get out of here, says Artemis. The two run off, not waiting for Superboy to finish with those tanks. Predator airplanes fly above, firing down at the two. Kid and Artemis dive for cover. Artemis draws an impact arrow. Right as she is about to shoot it, a voice shouts in her head, making her lose focus. The arrow flies sloppily, missing the predators by a mile. Did you just hear a girl's voice in your head? Said Artemis. I have girls on my mind all the time. But they never talk, said Kid. The two look up as the predators' planes come back around. Then an invisible force makes the planes slam into each other. Kid and Artemis watch as a green-skinned girl lands in front of them. I finally found you, smiled Miss Martian. Thanks for the save, Jean, but I don't think the whole gender thing is working, said Kid. You know my uncle. Hello, Megan. Of course you do. You're Kid Flash, Wally, and you're Artemis. We are on a team, friends, smiled Miss Martian. Team, repeated Kid. Artemis glances at Kid. Your real name is Wally. Kid groans. So you know her? Kid shook his head. No way, beautiful. I swear I have never seen her. Miss Martian sighs. You both lost your memories as well. Come on, we need to find Robin and Superboy. Right, Robin and Superboy, said Kid sarcastically, but follows nonetheless. Nighttime. I wish I could remember why I placed a GPS here, said Robin, running across the sand. He comes upon a hill and looks down to see a large metal box. It looks to be advanced and rare technology. His eyes narrow as it has been probably developed by Wayne Industries. Carefully, he jumps down, landing next to it. Belia soldiers burst out of the sand. Her Majesty wants him alive. Ordered a soldier. The soldiers raise their weapons at Robin, who tosses a smoke pellet on the ground. Robin begins to take down the soldiers one by one. Open fire. Gunshots fill the air, forcing Robin to dodge rapidly. I'll take those. Kid zooms around, taking the guns from each soldier. Kid tosses the weapons away. A smirk appears on Kid's face as he runs towards the nearest soldier, grabbing a fist, then spinning the soldier around, rapidly tossing him into another soldier. Miss Martian raises her arms, blasting two other soldiers away. One soldier tries to run away, but an arrow flies at the soldier. It bursts open and ropes wrap around the soldier, binding him. KF, it is good to see a familiar face, smirked Robin. Kid and Robin bump fists. Memory loss. 6 months, scowled Robin. Let's tie these idiots up and compare notes. Those are my moves. The four turn to see Naruto sitting on top of the metal box. He stars at the four young heroes. Artemis draws her arrow. Kid tenses. Robin blinks. Hubby, you know him, says Kid. Yeah, he is the youngest hero to join the Justice League. Batman doesn't like him very much, says Robin. The feeling is mutual, replies Naruto. Miss Martian smiles. Sensei, I am glad you are here. Now the whole team is here. So we are a team, said Robin. The four of us and Superboy, said Miss Martian. Can you restore our memories? Asks Naruto. Maybe that will help clear things up. Miss Martian nods. I think so, if everyone opens up their minds to me. Artemis shifts nervously. I don't like it. Kid grabs her hand. I'm here too. She blushes a bit. Okay, but only the recent ones know further. Naruto glances at Artemis. What is she so anxious to hide? Miss Martian closes her eyes. The 5 of them are brought into their subconscious. She begins to restore their memories, starting from getting the mission from Batman at Mount Justice. Memories start to come back up to the point where Aqualad tells her to be careful exploring the Belia camp. Aqualad, shout the 4. Naruto scratches the back of his head. He really is the sensei of these young heroes. A sheepish look appears in his eyes as he remembers what he did to Superboy. What happened after that? Asks Artemis. Miss Martian shakes her head. I can't remember. Calder has been wandering around for 24s in a desert. That isn't good for a guy with gills, says Kid. I can track him now that I know to look for him. Robin types quickly. Got him. He isn't far from here but he isn't move. Let's go. Break. Naruto kneels down placing a finger to Aqualad's neck. He can detect a faint pulse, but it is very faint. His pulse is very weak. We need to get him back to the bio ship, says Naruto. Kid, can you carry him back? Asks Robin. Kid shakes his head. I can barely run. I am too low on energy. I couldn't even carry her. He gestures at Artemis. Artemis looks at Miss Martian. You can levitate him back to the ship. I can't even remember where we landed the ship. I can't. I need to find Superboy. 6 months ago, he didn't even exist. His memories are all gone and he is acting on animal instincts, says Miss Martian. Superboy is indestructible. You saw what he did to those tanks. Calder needs our help now, says Kid. We will get Superboy after we get Aqualad back to the ship, orders Robin. Naruto stands off to the side letting his team work on its own. He only came along on this mission to act as a supervisor role. Naruto stands in front of his team. I am coming along. However, I am not part of the team during this mission. We don't know what caused that burst of high energy, so I am coming along in case it is something that the League personally needs to interfere with. You are to act as if I am not even there. Miss Martian clutches her head. Superboy, he is in pain. She flies off leaving behind the team. Naruto narrows his eyes. Break. Miss Martian flies towards the tent. She is invisible and easily sneaks past the soldiers. Inside the tent she finds Superboy being restrained to a table. Her eyes widen as the scientists turn a dial and Superboy screams in pain from being electrocuted. Superboy. She flies over to him. She uses her telekinetic powers to knock out 2 of the scientists. A figure whose face is covered by a black hood steps forward. He lowers the hood to reveal a very ugly face with the top of his head see-through showing his brain. Simon smirks as he senses the girl. A gasp escapes Miss Martian as she finds herself in a strange world where everything is in chaos. It looks like a Picasso painting. What? Foolish little girl, I see you didn't learn your lesson from what happened last time. The world begins to close in on Miss Martian. Time to forget, laughs a sinister voice. Miss Martian eyes fill with fear. Suddenly memories of what happened start coming back to her. She remembers flying into the tent seeing the scientists testing a strange metal sphere that looks to be alien. Then a telepath enters her mind making her forget everything and using the mental link she has with the others to make them forget as well. No, yells the sinister voice. Miss Martian opens her eyes to find Simon lying pinned to the ground by a large sword. She looks straight at Naruto-sensei who is staring at her with cold, emotionless eyes. Her head turns to see all the scientists and soldiers lying on the ground unmoving. A feeling of fear reaches her mind and she turns to look at the alien technology that is sentient. It is screaming in fear wanting to get away from Naruto. Sensei, gulps Miss Martian. Naruto slams his foot down upon Simon. Restore Superboy's memories. This mission is over. Mount Justice. The entire team is standing in front of Naruto. Naruto stares at them emotionlessly. All of them know that they are about to get a scolding. He looks straight at Miss Martian. No one says a word as he begins to speak. Miss Martian, you disobeyed direct orders from your team captain. There is no excuse. Superboy frowns. She was coming to save me. Yes, and in the process of saving you she left Aqualad on the brink of death with a weakened kid and Artemis who was low on arrows. She completely ignored the safety of her other teammates to save a single member. Naruto narrows his eyes. That is not what a hero does. You selfishly placed the life of Superboy above the lives of the rest of your team. Kid pointed out earlier that Superboy is indestructible and he can handle a bit of pain. Aqualad was on the brink of death and you were the only one at the time who had the power to help him. Naruto continues. What if it had been a civilian? Your job as a hero is to protect the people, not save your comrades. Each of us does this job knowing the risks. We put our lives on the lives for the sake of others, not our own selfish desires. No one is more important than someone else. Miss Martian lowers her head in guilt. I am sorry. Sorry isn't enough. You showed today that your team can't trust you to make the tough decisions. He stares at the young Martian. She gave him no choice with her actions. As of this moment, you are suspended from all team activities. You are no longer part of this team. Naruto is peacefully reading a book. He is standing in the middle of the training simulation, a forest with beautiful green trees and multiple training grounds. No one knows this, but it is an exact replica of the training grounds in Konoha. Red Tornado specifically created this holographic simulation based off his descriptions. The first time he had visited Konoha had been during the Chunin exams. It was with those idiots Dosu and Zaku. He wanted to kill them so badly with all their posturing and bragging. Oh well, they are dead now. Anyway, he had fallen in love with the village. It is much nicer than the hidden village of water and hidden village of sand. The air is so clear and clean. Villagers are pretty nice as well. He had always liked sneaking out to the forests and relaxing for hours at end. Good times. He jumps to his feet and pats down his pants. A second later, the simulation comes to an end. This is an honor. I get to meet the original 7, says Naruto. The 7 original superheroes who helped to form the Justice League come walking towards Naruto. Naruto has a look of boredom, not in the least bit intimidated or impressed. Superman and Batman lead the charge. Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Aquaman stare at him with hard looks. Martian Manhunter keeps his emotions hidden well, but Naruto can sense the anger beneath the skin. Flash is snacking on a chocolate bar. Batman narrows his eyes. We sent you a summons to the watchtower. I am well aware, but seeing as how you have no real power to force me to come, I decided to decline, replies Naruto. Or did you suddenly get the power to issue warrants and arrests? I don't remember the League being able to do that. Careful with your tone, glares Wonder Woman. Naruto glances at the woman. Or what? Wonder Woman steps forward, standing a solid 3 to 4 inches taller than Naruto. Superman appears between the two. That is enough. Naruto is right, we can't force him to show up. Besides, we didn't come here to throw around our weight. We came here to speak about your recent decision to remove Jean's niece from the team. Yes, I would like to know the reason as well. She is quite upset. Martian Manhunter's eyes showed that he is upset as well. If you read the report, then you would understand why I did it, Naruto replies. Break. Calder stands on the beach staring out over the ocean. His ears pick up the sound of someone approaching him. All that training with Naruto-sensei has really made his senses sharp. Megan, what are you doing here? Asks Calder, turning to face the girl. Megan shifts nervously. She pushes a strand of hair out of her face. I came to apologize. She looks at Calder. I never meant to endanger your life. I was being selfish and only thinking of my own feelings. It's okay. Calder looks out over the ocean. I must admit, at first, it didn't even bother me. Then I thought about what Naruto-sensei said. It hurt to know that you placed Superboy's life over my own. I would never favor you or anyone else. Calder. He raises his hand. She falls silent. Calder walks over to her. A reassuring smile appears on his face. At least that is what I thought. The truth is, I understand why you did it, as I too am in love with someone. If she was in danger, I would do for her what you did for Superboy. Megan blushes. A look of relief appears in her eyes. Thank you. I am still sorry. Calder pulls her into a hug. She hugs him back. Mount Justice. Computer room. It isn't right. He was too harsh with her, says Wally. Artemis folds her arms across her chest. I think he did the right thing. Wally narrows his eyes. I say that you should leave. I much rather have Speedy. I didn't know you liked guys, smirks Artemis. Both of you be quiet, says Robin. He sighs, rubbing his temples. Wally, I hate to say this, but I agree with Artemis and Naruto-sensei. Megan endangered us all with her decision to leave rashly. She could have helped us with Aqualad, then we all could have gone to help save Superboy. You read the report. Superboy would have been fine until we arrived, if not a little more beat up. Superboy enters the room. How can saving my life be wrong? She deserves to be on the team. No. Megan enters the room with Calder. I made a rash decision. If Naruto-sensei didn't show up, then that telepath would have defeated me a second time. Then who knows what would have happened. Yeah, but it is one mistake, says Wally. Megan shakes her head. That isn't an excuse. Sensei has always trained us to work together. We are a team. He is always telling us that together we can overcome anything. I went off on my own, abandoning the team. Sensei made the right decision. A new person enters the room. Well, let's see how the League feels. Canary places a hand on her hip and smirks. Robin hack into the training room. The young heroes look at her curiously. Training room. Naruto stands in front of the 7 superheroes. Miss Martian ignored direct orders from the team leader, Robin, and left one teammate to die while rushing into an unknown situation. Kid and Artemis were both in conditions that made them less than 100%. Robin was the only member of the team in the condition to truly operate. He knew the situation that Superboy was in, but made the decision to help 3 of his teammates instead of risking his life for the sake of one. She has shown that she is unreliable, at least until she is able to better control her emotions. She was trying to help a friend, says Superman. I agree. She risked her life to save a life. All on her own. That shows her bravery and courage, agrees Wonder Woman. Sorry, but a bad decision is a bad decision. Naruto glances at Wonder Woman. Bravery and courage don't mean much when you are dead. Wonder Woman clenches her hands into fists. Flash smiles. She is just a kid. Naruto glares. None of them are kids. The moment you all allowed them to go on missions and don their masks, they became adults. You can't keep calling them kids to justify their mistakes or to stop them from doing things that you don't want them to do. Want them to be kids? Then you should have never allowed them to become your protégés. I have to agree, says Green Lantern. Hal looks over at Superman, Flash, and Wonder Woman. In the military, it doesn't matter the age of the soldier. A soldier is a soldier. All the soldiers are expected to do their duties. No excuses. Batman reluctantly agrees with Naruto. Miss Martian has been trained thoroughly. She is obviously not ready to be on the team if she is making decisions like that. Aquaman nods. Aqualad may be young, but I have never seen him as a child. He is a young man who knows the consequences of the decisions he makes. That rule applies to all of them. Superman looks across at Martian Manhunter. It seems we are split on the issue. That leaves the swing vote to you. Martian Manhunter turns to face Naruto. The two stare at each other. Neither of them are blinking or breaking eye contact. My niece respects you a great deal. If she is willing to trust you, then so am I. I will respect your decision, says Jean. Then it is settled. Naruto interrupts Superman. No, it isn't settled. He stares at the 7 heroes. I won't have you coming down here every time I make a decision. If I am going to lead this team, then when I make a decision it is final. Your scrutiny is annoying. Either I am the leader or I'm not. Make a decision. He forms a hand seal. Find me when you have an answer. In a swirl of leaves, he vanishes. Break. Batman and Martian Manhunter are preparing to take a Zeta beam up to the watchtower. A female's voice stops them. Uncle. The two turn to see Megan flying towards them. She lands in front of them with hard eyes. Please, let Naruto stay our sensei. He has taught us so much. You were listening in on a private conversation, scolds Jean. Batman narrows his eyes because he will be having a talk with Robin about that. Megan gives an apologetic look. We are sorry for, but none of us want anyone besides Naruto. He treats us equally and is always fair with his decisions. Jean looks at Batman. Batman turns away, vanishing into the portal. He looks back at his niece. This will be taken into consideration. Megan smiles, knowing that everything will be okay. Happy Harbor. What do you all want? Naruto sits on the ledge of the building reading a book. He looks up at the night sky. It took you 6 hours to find me. That is pretty good, even though I wasn't really trying to hide. Wally groans. What? It takes us 6 hours when you are not trying. Calder steps forward. We listened in on your conversation with the League. I know. I am the one who told Canary to let you all know. Surprise fills the young heroes. Naruto flips the page. The meeting had to deal with you all. I felt you all had a right to hear it. I hate when people make decisions about me behind my back, so I wasn't going to do that to you all. Robin smirks. That is why we don't want you to leave. Artemis smiles. You are the best at being covert. It is kind of stupid to go from learning from the best to someone who is not even in your league. Naruto nods. That is true. We don't care what the League says either. Superboy has a hard look. The base is nice and everything, but we can always work from somewhere if the League doesn't want to support us. We do have one condition, says Wally. You have to let Megan back on the team. Do I now? Naruto turns to face them. He jumps down and walks towards them. I am the one who gives orders. Superboy smirks. Megan is a part of the team. She's on it or none of us are. That is just the way it is going to be, smiles Calder. Naruto stands quietly. He folds his arms across his chest. Yeah, I mean I have done plenty of stupid things and I am still on the team, says Wally. Almost getting us killed at Dr. Fate's tower, Artemis points out. That wasn't a mission. What you all do on your own time is your business, says Naruto. Robin speaks up. You are the one that taught us to work together. Well, without Megan it will be hard to work together. She is a part of us. A shrug comes from Naruto. It seems I am being overruled. Very well. Megan will be reinstated onto the team. Wally will be put on probation since I am being reminded of all the stupid things he does. What? Wally yells. That wasn't part of the deal. The others burst out laughing. Naruto chuckles a bit. He is starting to like these kids. This is Cat Grant reporting from Taipei, where the historic peace summit between South and North Relation has broken down. As a last resort, the two leaders have agreed to bring in an arbitrator. The rumors have come from the President of the United States to Superman, says Cat. She smiles. It is unlikely that it is Superman because I hear the arbitrator is coming by car, not cape. Roy looks around trying to find any hints of an assassin. Instead of his usual Red Arrow costume, he is wearing an expensive black suit with a briefcase. He is looking around with his costume shades that analyze the height and weight of each person he looks at. A voice surprises Roy. I wonder who this mysterious arbitrator is. Roy spins around in surprise. Naruto is leaning against the pillar in his regular battle clothes. He pulls out a piece of Pocky and bites down upon it. I hope it is someone I like. It is annoying to protect people that you dislike, says Naruto. What are you doing here? Glares Roy. Focus, Naruto chides. Roy scowls, turning to look at the crowd. The reason I am here is the same as you. From time to time, I like to go on missions of my own. It so happens that I read of this peace summit and thought I'd take a look into it. A black limousine pulls up with 6 motorcycle escorts. A pretty woman wearing a police uniform suddenly disappears into the crowd. She quickly rips off her clothes and puts on a white porcelain mask. The woman has long straight blonde hair with taut bandages and dark eyes. She wears a short-sleeve black and purple blouse, black pants, both of which have similar cloud designs on them, purple fingerless gloves, and a chain of white beads around her left hand. A kunai holster is strapped to her right thigh, bandages around her arms and legs, as well as a red belt around her waist. She pulls out a scroll, swiping her blood across it. In a cloud of smoke, a bazooka appears. Naruto's eyes narrow. Roy clicks a button, making the briefcase open up, revealing a folded-up red bow. He opens it up and notches an arrow. With expert aim, he fires an arrow that strikes the bazooka, making her shoot up into the air. She scowls but quickly jumps forward, using the people as springs while drawing a pair of kunai. Red Arrow fires an arrow that turns into a black net. She slices through the net and is then tackled by Red Arrow. She turns around, so she is on top, raising her kunai. Freeze. The clicking of guns makes her look up. 6 army men have their automatic weapons trained on her. She drops her kunai and raises her arms in surrender. Lex Luthor! Exclaims Cat Grant in surprise. He narrows his eyes upon the assassin. It isn't possible. Naruto disappears into the shadows. Break. A sign escapes the blonde assassin. She sits in the cell staring at the ceiling. This is so boring. Her eyes narrow as she senses a presence. She sits up and turns around to see a handsome young man standing outside the cell. Who are you? Asks the assassin. Yugito ni, he speaks. Her eyes widen before narrowing. She stands up and takes a step forward. There are only 3 people in this world who know my true name. Yugito narrows her eyes with a slight growl. How do you know my name? Naruto smirks. Yugito ni, former Jinchuriki of the Two-Tailed Cat. I am Naruto Uzumaki, former Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox. Nice to meet you. Yugito's eyes widen. Nine-Tail. Naruto stands calmly. She calms down, keeping her emotions in check. So were you captured by Akatsuki as well? Naruto and Yugito senses a new presence. Red Arrow opens the door, entering the room. Red Arrow narrows his eyes upon Naruto. What are you doing here? A punch strikes Red Arrow in the face, sending him flying in the wall. Naruto lowers his arm with a look of annoyance. Watch it. I am neither Green Arrow nor the Justice League. I have no problem with kicking your ass, says Naruto. Yugito smirks. I remember you now. She looks at Naruto. You were Orochimaru's little puppet. Didn't B almost kill you? A cold smile appears on Naruto's face. Yeah, it was right after I killed your entire squad. Yugito hisses in anger. I don't care about the past the two of you have. I want to know why you are here. Is it to stop the Peace Summit or to kill Lex Luthor? Demands Red. Two birds, one stone. Yugito gives a cat-like smirk. She gives a wink before ducking down and grabbing the cell bars. Naruto grabs Red and forces him down as the back wall of the cell explodes. Yugito spins around to see who is helping her out. A young man stands a couple inches short than Naruto is in the hole, floating a pile of sand. He has short spiky brick red hair, a tattoo kanji for love on his forehead, cold emotionless pale blue eyes, and creamy white skin. There is a large gourd on his back and deep black rings around his eyes. He wears full-length dark trousers, with a pair of laces on each leg, respectively a few inches below the waist and the knees, a long-sleeved crimson coat with flaring hemlines on the front and the back, a gray holster vest held in place by a single strap over his left shoulder and by two buckled belts which he uses to carry his gourd. He also wears another pair of casually worn belts around his waist. Gara of the Sand. Naruto's eyes widen in surprise. Gara looks at Naruto with surprise of his own. Naruto Uzumaki. No time for reunions. Yugito leaps onto the sand. Naruto runs forward, but a wave of sand comes at him. He draws Samahata and slashes through it, making the sand fall to the ground harmlessly. An explosive arrow flies at Gara and Yugito. A blast of sand blocks the arrow, causing it to explode prematurely. Red Arrow notches another arrow. Don't bother. Naruto places Samahata on his back. Gara will use his sand to block it. Come on, we will have to track them. He walks over to the hole and leaps across to the roof of the other building. Red Arrow fires a grappling arrow and slides down, following Naruto. Mount Justice. Superboy wiped his brow before going back to fine-tuning his bike. An alien ball rolled around behind him, making small noises. He smirked. Jealous much? Superboy turned his head, patting it on the head. Are you ready for the first day of school? Megan flies into the room towards Superboy carrying two brown bags. I made our lunches. Martian Manhunter, Black Canary, and Red Tornado walk towards the two young heroes. Might want to consider changing your clothes, smirked Black Canary. Megan beamed. I picked out the perfect outfit. Her outfit changes to that of a red half jacket over a white t-shirt, red skirt, socks, and flat black shoes. She spun around. Can Megan Moores pass as an Earth girl now? Black Canary raises an eyebrow. Kidding. Megan's skin turned from green to white. I am ready to go to school. Black Canary tosses a blue shirt to Superboy. You'll need to wear something different as well. Superboy removed his shirt, revealing a bare muscular chest. A blush heated Megan's cheeks. He put on the blue shirt. Now we need to get you a new name. Huh, said Superboy. I chose the name John Jones. Martian Manhunter turns into a well-dressed black man. I suggested the name John Smith for Red Tornado. You can be a John as well. Superboy shakes his head. Pass. Connor has always been my favorite name, blushed Megan. Fine. And Kent will be your last name, said Martian Manhunter. Megan smiled. Oh, in memory of Dr. Fate and the late Kent Nelson. Martian Manhunter glances at Canary. Right. Real-Asia. Gara and Yugito land in the courtyard of an Asian-style mansion. It looks like a mansion straight out of the feudal times. The two look into the shadows. A tall man steps out of the shadows. You have failed me, Yugito, says the man. In the shadows, Naruto and Red Arrow are watching the two assassins meet with their employers. That is Ra Al Ghul. Red Arrow narrows his eyes. Yugito folds her arms across her chest. Please, I let him capture me. As if some rookie sidekick can handle me. I am a true assassin, not like those weaklings Sportsmaster and Cheshire. Ra glances at Gara. No matter. Lex Luthor has become a constant thorn in my side. I want him to be dealt with immediately. Destroy the entire Peace Summit if need be, but get rid of him. Gara glances to the right. He raises his hand and a wall of sand rise up from the ground. It splashes down on the roof. Naruto jumps out of the sand holding a surprised red arrow. He tosses red arrow. Red arrow flips around landing on his feet. Red draws his bow and arrows. I see you still have the same old tricks, smirks Naruto. I can say the same of you, says Gara. Yugito twirls around a pair of kunai. I am going to enjoy killing you, Snake. Naruto gives a wide smile. Bring it out, kitty. Yugito shoots forward at high speeds. Red Arrow's eyes widen, as she is moving so fast. A shadow comes down from above. Red Arrow rolls out of the way, as sand splashes down in the spot where he was sitting. He quickly fires 3 arrows at Gara. Sand rises up out of the ground blocking the arrows. 3 explosions fill the courtyard. Gara stands behind his sand unharmed. Yugito slices through air. Naruto smirks as he dodges 3 more slashes, then comes in with a right punch. She ducks under it, going for a leg sweep. He jumps up, drawing Samahata and swinging it downward. Yugito rolls backwards as Samahata smashes through the top of the wall. That sword. Yugito narrows her eyes. Naruto hefts Samahata onto his shoulders. Samahata, unlike you, I managed to kill the Akatsuki members sent after me. Then how are you here? Yugito twirls her kunai. Lightning begins to surround her kunai. Only those who have their souls forcefully removed and sucked into that dimensional hole produced by the statue gets sent here. Let's just say that I went through a different sealing process that produced similar results, smirks Naruto. It has been a while since I have been in a ninja battle. Try to make this fun for me. I'll kill you. Yugito tosses her kunai at high speeds. The kunai slow down upon approaching Samahata. She gasps in surprise as Naruto easily blocks the kunai with Samahata, then charges forward swinging the sword. Red Arrow runs rapidly as bullets of sand fly at him. He dives forward, shooting 2 arrows at Gara. Gara waves his hand using his sand to knock away the arrows. It is pointless. My sand provides me with the ultimate defense, says Gara. We'll see about that. Red Arrow draws an arrow, firing it. Gara's sand rises up, blocking. The arrow explodes. A second arrow goes through the air between the sand, heading straight at Gara. Gara tilts his head, letting the arrow pass by his face. It seems you have hard time controlling your sand after an explosion, smirks Red. Gara remains emotionless. Red Arrow feels pressure on his ankles. He looks down to see sand around his right ankle. The sand lifts him up in the air, spinning him around before slamming him into the side of the wall. All your explosions do is spread my sand throughout the courtyard, making it easier for me to attack you, says Gara. Red Arrow coughs up a bit of blood. A figure slams down into the ground next to Gara. Gara looks over at Naruto. Naruto lands next to Red Arrow. Yugito spits out blood as she rises to her feet. I remember you being much more bloodthirsty. It seems with the demon gone you have mellowed out, smiles Naruto. I have a memory of you being much more cold and vicious in your fighting style, replies Gara. Naruto hefts Samahata onto his back. I am playing the hero now. I can no longer kill. Yugito glares. The hero? That's too funny. Hey Red, got any arrow that generate lightning? Naruto keeps his eyes on Yugito and Gara. His sand techniques are weak to lightning. Red stands up, notching an arrow. I can. No you can't, says Naruto. You got talent and skill. And you seem smart, but that stupid pride of yours is going to get you killed. I can handle the cat, but the Sandman over there is the true threat. I specialize in close range and ninjutsu, and you specialize in long range. I need you to do what you do best. Yugito runs forward. A wave of sand bursts out of the ground, making a grab for Naruto and Red. The two jump apart. A smirk appears on Yugito's face as she channels chakra to her legs and shoots towards Red. She quickly jumps back as shurikens sail through the air in front of her. Red notches an arrow and shoots it at Yugito. She jumps over it, tossing a pair of kunai at Red. The arrow sparks, becoming surrounded by electricity as it flies at Gara. Hidden snake hands. Naruto raises his arm. A dozen snakes burst from his sleeves, flying at the airborne Yugito. The snakes wrap around her, sinking their fangs into her skin. She screams in pain. Gara raises his arm, creating a wall of sand. The arrow sails right through it and pierces him through the chest. Surprise fills Gara's eyes before he crumbles away into sand. Yugito falls to the ground turning into a log. Red's eyes widen. What? Focus. Naruto tosses a kunai into the shadows behind Red. Yugito burst from the shadows. Her hands blur. Fire release. Fireball. She spits out a giant fireball that flies towards Red. Samahata flies through the air hitting the fireball causing it to explode. Spear of Shukaku. A giant spear of sand flies down at Naruto. Naruto flips backwards. Rain of death. Spikes made from sand rain down from above. Naruto has nowhere to dodge and several spikes pierce his body. He falls forward hitting the ground in a splash as he turns into mud. Gara stands on top of the wall with his eyes darting around. Fire release. Phoenix of the immortal flames. Gara looks up to see Naruto high in the air. Naruto spits out a dozen fireballs that rain down. A wall of sand rises up protecting Gara. Multiple explosions fill the courtyard. Yugito curses as she dodges. Got you. Red fires an arrow. It burst open into a black net. She swings her kunai slicing through it. Red quickly fires 3 explosive arrows that Yugito dodges with ease using her superior speed. She appears in front of him. It seems I am the one who has you, smirks Yugito. A pair of hands burst out of the ground grabbing her by the ankles. Earth release. Inner decapitation. She was pulled into the ground up to her chin. Naruto bursts out of the ground behind her. Sand wraps around Red and yanks him away from Naruto. Gara stands calmly. It seems we are at a stalemate. Naruto smirks. Yeah, it seems so. The old Gara would have killed right then and they're not caring about his teammates. The old Uzumaki would have truly decapitated her, Gara replies. Red screams in pain as the sand begins to crush him. Naruto's smirk widens. Gara's head turns as Samahata flies from behind slashing through the sand that holds Red. Naruto vanishes in a blur grabbing Red. The ground around Yugito burst open with sand safely around the young woman. In a swirl of sand Gara appears next to Yugito. Naruto and Red stare down Gara and Yugito. Another time. Sand wraps around Gara and he vanishes. Yugito glares at Naruto before forming a hand seal. She disappears in a cloud of smoke. Naruto hefts Samahata onto his back. Come on. We need to get back to the Peace Summit. Peace Summit. The two nations have finally come to peaceful negotiations. While Naruto and Red Arrow were fighting, another attack was happening on the summit. Lex Luthor's cyborg assistant easily took care of the assassins. The leaders of each nation were so impressed with the technology that they came together to create peace in order to get Luthor's new business for the future. Red Arrow scowls. I can't believe Luthor is the hero. Naruto shrugs. It sometimes turns out that way. He glances at Red Arrow. Want to reconsidering joining the team? You got talent. No thanks. I work alone, says Red. I understand. Naruto stares Red Arrow right in the eyes. You want some respect. I believe you deserve it. However, don't let your anger at the Justice League get in the way of what you are doing. The Justice League is not what you should be striving to achieve. As a hero, you need to strive to keep peace and save lives. Do that, and it won't matter whether the dumbass League respects you because the rest of the world will. Red Arrow's eyes widen. Naruto smirks. I'll see you around. I look forward to seeing how much stronger you'll be next time we meet. In a swirl of leaves Naruto vanishes. A smirk appears on Red Arrow's face. He looks down at the Peace Summit. Red walks away. Mount Justice. Superboy is staring at the television. Naruto hops over the couch plopping down. He opens a bag of popcorn and begins to eat. How was school? Boring. I hear Megan is a cheerleader. Yeah, what is a cheerleader? A girl who dresses up in a uniform and cheers loudly. Really? Naruto shrugs. Sounds boring. The two sit quietly staring at the television. Superboy continues to flip through the channels to find something good. The end. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.